Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be liked. Enjoy being liked.
I'm
Have
just
to
a
be
guy
liked.
with a mic and a screen, spitting truth in a world so obscene. No script, no filter, I speak what I see. Every angle, every side, it's all real to me. I dig through the noise, cut through the lies. Facts over feelings, I'm sharp like a knife. Small time streamer, no fame, no crown, but my voice is my own, I won't back down. I guess I'm too raw, too rough, too plain, but I'm spitting my heart, not chasing some game. No corporate leash, no puppet on strings. I'm free in my words, hear truth that I bring. No big channel shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my takes. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. Small time streamer, but that's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small time dreamer with a voice that's enough. Got a webcam flicker and a beat in my chest. Bass takes in my veins, spilling facts is my quest. I'm breaking the mold, no mainstream appeal. Just a kid with a dream and a heart made of steel. I sift through the data, the left and the right. No bias, no agenda, just seeking the light. They laugh at my setup, my low res stream, but my words cut deeper than the corporate screen. I guess I'm too raw, too rough, too plain, but I'm spitting my heart, not chasing some game. No corporate leash, no puppet on strings. I'm free in my words, hear the truth that I bring. No big channel shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my takes. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. Small time streamer, but that's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small time dreamer with a voice that's enough. I'm the spark in the dark, the glitch in the code. Carving my lane on this uncharted road. Million subs, no viral fame, but I'm owning the truth and I'm changing the game. I'll scream till my lungs give out, till the signal's dead. Every word that I speak is the blood that I bled. No big channel shine, no glitter, no fakes. Minimal effort, just me and my takes. I'm speaking the truth, let the whole world know. Small time streamer, but that's how I roll. Do my words hit hard, give the system the chills. Minimal effort, no budget, no frills. I'm carving my path, let the fire erupt. Small time dreamer with a voice that's enough.
Why waste time? It's a race, and if I get mine first, she's just not as good as she should be. Equal rights for men and women right there from DB Wild. Holy crap, dude. Yeah, you got a good chuckle out of me. Smeg with the 5 gifted to start off. Dude, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I said it on Discord. I am so beyond behind and exhausted, so I appreciate you guys for being here. It's gonna be kind of a shorter stream, probably. Sorry, I got a cough drop in my mouth. Only because I am exhausted. I didn't have much time to get stuff going. We had a early practice for my daughter's softball team today, but it ended up being more exhausting than having a later one, so equal rights and lefts, exactly. And how do I know that? Because I am an expert in all things coming early. Hey, Lugia, good to see you, buddy. So yeah, guys, we're going to cover mostly just Crimson Desert stuff tonight. A game that I have not had time to play in the last couple days. So, actually, I was doing yard work. Hang on a sec. I can't talk with this freaking cough drop in my mouth. I was doing yard work this weekend. So I am sore as a son of a bitch. And you guys know what my wife told me. So I was changing out of my work clothes into my somewhat PJs, although I still have my gym pants on from practice. And I put on my little blue zip-up hoodie, cardigan, old man sweater, right? And my wife is just standing there smiling over her teacup, right? And I'm like, what are you looking at? She's like, oh, you just look so distinguished like an older gentleman in that hoodie. I'm like, oh my God. It's like it's bad enough that I feel like I've been hit by a freight train from doing yard work and shit all weekend. Now I'm just in so much pain, it's not even funny. Yeah, the wife telling me that I look like a distinguished older gentleman. I'm like, I got 1 year on you. Smeg, we have the exact same birthday 1 year apart. She's got 1 year, okay? Oh, DB, I did that right before the camera cut in. So hopefully we're good. Hopefully I managed to beat it early. We'll see. But, that remains to be seen. Of course, I might have done it too early, and then I'll have to reset it anyways. Not dressed up as a jihadi, although this is still kicking around in here from the Reloaded stream. I have no idea why. I just haven't put it back in my closet yet. So, plus without the beard, it doesn't quite work the same way anymore. So yeah, it's been, I wanted to stream last weekend. I wanted to either stream Friday or Saturday night. But I'm not gonna lie, guys. That whole, oh god, that X-Voto 3 nights in a row stream, plus all the news covering X-Voto was a lot. That took a lot out of me. It was fun. I had a great time doing all that. But it was exhausting, dude. Timbo attack bar. You had zero interest in it, but you watched somebody play it for 40 minutes and now you want the game. Dude, honestly, okay. I wish I hadn't bought it. And not because it's a bad game. Not because the game is bad or there's anything wrong with the game. I recently, after taking like a 2-year break from Valheim, was like, screw it, I'm going to get back into Valheim. I love Valheim. I'm going to play through the game with the equipment I have. We're going to get back to where I died in the Ashlands water, get my equipment back, and then we'll continue on to the Ashlands, as scary as it might be, right? Because they just updated the Ashlands, apparently, and the enemies are insane out there. Problem is I have to beat the Mistlands boss, which is a big fucking insect, so it's like, great. But that being said, it's like I recently been making myself get back to Valheim, and it's like right now with Crimson Desert, I think Equilibrium said on Discord that, Co-Carnage compared Valheim to Crimson Desert. I'm like, yeah, but I've already got Valheim, For me, if I was going to play something Valheim-like, I'd rather just play Valheim. Over 20 hours in and digging every moment of it? Yeah. Anyone's interested in that game, buy it used? Which game are we talking about? Or do you mean like down the road? Oh yeah. Most people playing Crimson Desert are probably playing it on PC, where you can't buy a used game, obviously. Oh, X-Voto. I thought you were talking about Crimson Desert. Oh man, no, dude. It was worth the $16 to stream X-Voto. That was 100% worth it. That was some of my most fun I've had streaming a game in a long time. The game was just so infinitely bad. Now, granted, I could have just played the game, not chatted a whole lot, and probably gotten it done in like 2 nights. But it was more fun to commiserate and bitch about than to just try to play it and take it seriously. Nah, dude, X-Voto, the minute that we were done beating that game, I uninstalled it. Yeah, fun because of you guys. Dude, honestly, I wouldn't have had fun playing it by myself. No way. Yeah, DB, I think it's primarily a console issue. Now, I did notice some of the visuals in Crimson Desert with like the waterfall effects were pretty bad. There were some specific instances where things looked a little wonky. Huge payoff with the Lesbo milked it like 3 X double Ds. Yeah, exactly. Triple Ds. No, dude, honestly, it was a lot of fun. I wasn't even trying to milk it. I thought we were going to get the game done in 2 nights. I thought we could get it done. But I wasted a lot of time. Like, Kata got it done in 5.5 hours. I probably could have done it in about 6 hours. if I was just playing the game, not really worrying about, you know, chatting and exploring and all that. So, I did, before we talk about Crimson Desert, I wanted to play this video, excuse me, that Quagmire shared on Discord, because this shit is insane. Hang on a second. Let me kill the music. This video that he shared on Discord it's only like 4 minutes long, and it's totally worth watching, because this is the utter state of like retarded entitled streamers. This shit is insane. Okay, so hang on, let me switch to the bigger screen. There we go. So this is Arc Raider's situation is getting genuinely insane. If you guys don't know anything about this, you'll get filled in. It's only a 4-minute, 16-second video. But this is like that female privilege kicking in right here, this female entitlement, especially among streamers, that is pretty much ruining every... I remember that game is not Arc Raiders. No. The person... Isn't this Among Us? Not Among Us. Fall Guys? Crimson Desert used AI for some paintings in one of the biggest open worlds. How dare they? Yeah, pretty much. Hey, Geekazu. All right, so 4-minute video. Yeah, Fall Guys. I don't know why I said Among Us. Guys, I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. I am so tired. This is the first night in probably 2 months that I almost didn't stream when I'd already planned on streaming. Like, there are those nights where I know it's not going to happen because I've got too many things to do. Oh yeah, on top of softball and baseball, my YouTube side of things completely crapped out, so I came over here. No worries, you're just going to be holding down the fort by yourself over on Kick there, DB Wild, but I'll try to remember to check all the chats. No, so we are actually made. I did all the sweatshirts for 2 of the 3 kids' teams. And so for about 4 hours last night, and then for another hour and a half tonight after dinner, that's why I didn't have anything prepped for stream. I was doing the heat press and vinyl on the sweatshirts for till about 8 o'clock at night. Oh, I know this game by name. Well, this is just background footage. This is not the subject of the video here. But yeah, the game is pretty dead. I think Fall Guys is pretty much cooked at this point. So the video is about an Arc Raiders streamer. Let me make sure it's loud enough.
Welcome back to Slop Live. Today's Slopic, the Arc Raiders situation is insane. If you aren't familiar with Arc Raiders, it's an extraction shooter and you have the ability to talk in proximity chat to other players if you want to. Well, an Australian player known as Nessie was doing
the first problem. And Smeg, I don't want to start off shitting on your nation of origin, because I think Australia has a lot of awesome things about it. I'm still not convinced Australia's a real place, but if it is, it sounds pretty cool. Australian people, I swear to God, I mean, it is just, there's something in the water over there. I used to know a few Australians. I used to play with Guild Wars with a few gals from New Zealand, and my God, they were nuts. They were fucking insane, okay? So this chick that is the subject of this video, I'm pretty sure she's also Australian.
Doing a little bit of trolling and pretending his friend was stuck, asking people for help. Well, a streamer called Peach tried to help him, and he then turned on her and killed her, which is an asshole move and rat behavior, but being betrayed by players is kind of...
America is a much bigger place, so our sampling size for insane people is much larger. So I think that it's because Australia is a much smaller place, smaller population, that there's just generally a larger density of the crazies over there. Women should play Sims only. No, I think, dude, I've encountered a lot of women on Arc Raiders playing, like, especially just like the solo mode, and usually everyone's chill. I mean, it's not like... Yes, obviously there's going to be the trolls, the assholes, the weirdos, the creeps, all those kind of guys. That exists in every game. That's just called Melbourne. Okay, they're fair enough. I've been there, may have been a fever dream though. So anyways, yeah, female streamer gets trolled by a guy pretending to need help and they kill her. You'll see the video in a second.
Just part of the game. You take a risk every time you trust that someone's friendly.
But my friend is like completely stuck, and I want someone to knock him so I can like res him, and hopefully that knocks him out of the spot.
A lot of cool married chicks. Stay away, man.
She left a nice message on his Steam after this happened, and also reported...
Okay. So she went on the guy's Steam page after he backstabbed her with her TTV in her username. Says, "Wow, I can smell the stink from here, loser, and thank you for the free content, suck a fat one." What free content? She got goaded, not goaded, basically trolled by a guy who told her he needed help, and she went to go help him, and they killed her. I don't know what free content she's talking about, but she's pissed about it, so she put that on his Steam profile. What I just tuned into? Oh, female streamer entitlement. Don't worry, it gets better.
Happened, and also reported him for scamming.
Reported him for scamming. Select reason for reporting player scamming. Add additional information about what happened. Liar got me killed.
That you can point to and say, "Hey man, I love you. This many dollars worth."
If anyone's interested in a lesbian story, I suggest playing Knights of Azure. They have attracted female characters.
Lugia, thanks for the 5, man. I mean, honestly, here's the thing. I understand the male, especially the heterosexual male, proclivity to being like, hey, 2 attractive women, all that kind of scissoring stuff, right? I get it. I personally don't really, I'm reading through The Witcher right now. I'm on, just got done with Baptism of Fire, so I'm on Tower of Swallows, giggity. And it's where the rats, the bandits that Ciri takes up with, the one of them, the female, basically molests Ciri because she's like 15 or 16 years old. And it's basically, she's got like Stockholm syndrome, she's being abused by this girl, and then she thinks that she's in love with her or that they're in love or something. And it's like, no, you just got molested by a much older girl. So for me, it's like, even that, I'm like, I don't know, goated, yes, goated. I'm just, the whole lesbian thing, I would just rather not. I would just rather see straight characters. I get it. Some people are like, hey, 2 girls, all right. It's like, yeah, I would just rather not. But thanks to the 5 blues, yeah. At least if you're not ugly, that's already a step up, right? Yes, females. Yeah. So she died in a PvP game. She got lied to and got trapped and murdered, Basically said this, the same person as George Alexopoulos with different autism, right? Well, the funny thing is, okay, so Serrano, I have read the first Elric book that Razor Fist is always talking about how The Witcher, Andrei Sapkowski just ripped off Michael Moorcock, I think is who it was, the Elric books, right, when he wrote The Witcher. So I read the first Elric book, and I haven't picked up any more of the series yet because they haven't been in stock over at the used bookstore I like to go shop at. But I've read like 5 Witcher books now. And the similarities between Elric and Geralt that I've noticed from reading 1 Elric book and 5 Witcher books is only the fact that they have long white hair. That's about it. So I don't know. Most dude bros would be like 2 chicks so we. I get it. I'm not gay, but I'm just, Dan's always going on about more cock. Dude, why have more cock when you could have less? Or why have less when you could have more, right, guy? So she got effed over. I remember being camped by a higher level player on a PvP server, and wow, I didn't cry, I just overcame it. Dude, so I play on pretty friendly servers on Ark when I'm actually playing, but I haven't played Ark in a while because of, we had Ex-Voto and Crimson Desert, and then I started playing Valheim again. But it's like, I was playing on pretty friendly servers, and some rat came and killed me, stabbed me in the back. I didn't care. I didn't cry about it. It's whatever. So she got groomed. Well, we're talking about Ciri in the Witcher books. George's recent autism is supposed to be... Dude, exactly. I had some George posts to pull up, but honestly, I don't think I even saved them. You're not a dude bro either, so there's that. I mean, DB, I get it. I'd personally just rather not see lesbians.
And that he lied, which again would be like reporting someone for lying in Among Us. When he saw her Steam comment and realized she was streaming, he sent a few messages in her chat.
All right. Nessie, who I guess is another streamer, he's the guy that she went and left a comment on his Steam profile and reported him for scamming. He says, hey, Gigi from before. No, I was the one with the stuck friend. What did I do to be called an asshole? It's just a game, chill. Trying to lock in with Uni. I don't know what he's talking about. So that was it. Okay, she then bans him from the chat, apparently.
chat. This is literally all the messages he sent. She wasn't happy about this, calling him an asshole, and then banned him from her chat. And that was that. Well, as you probably know, Oceania doesn't have a high population.
Oceania, what is that? Is that Sea of Thieves? I don't know what Oceania is. There was a first class on my ship called Swallows. His first name was Richard. Oh my god, tell me that's not true, man. Tell me that's a fake story. No way. Oh, I thought they were talking about in-game, man. No, Smeg, you're talking about your made-up little area that you live in. That's where like places like Micronesia and stuff exist. Places that aren't real because I've never been there. When I watched this the first time, I thought he was referring to like a map on a game or like a region or for a game or something. Live out of the US, but why would I, man? I know where most of the countries are in Europe. I know where the big ones are in Asia. Anything, you know, south of China, I just don't really know, man. I'm to be fair, I also don't know. I know where Mexico is. Most of the South American countries, I'm like, it's all just, I don't know.
And it is quite common to regularly see people in-game that you've played with before. Well, by pure chance, Nessie ran into her about 2 days later in-game, and he decided to betray and kill her again. Again, this is an asshole move, but this is also part of the game. When she realized it was him, she said he'd been reported multiple times for harassment and that he was done.
Bro, I was so nice to you.
I think I ran into you the other day.
You've been reported for harassment on multiple levels by multiple people and towards Sea of Thieves too. People know exactly.
Y'all gotta see this shit. She's got like bunny ears and all this on. Oh my god, she's over 30. Oh, this is really sad behavior. This is like a 31st birthday balloon behind her. Lady, you are over 30 playing a game and complaining to a man about harassment because he betrayed you on a PvP game. Wearing bunny ears. Oh my. I didn't realize that this woman was like, she had to look exactly how I thought she'd look. Yeah. It's Taiwan, then Oceania. Okay. Big island south of China's. Is that what that one is? The big island south of China's Australia? She has whiskers drawn on, yes.
Who you are and what piece of shit you are for harassment for what you did. It's all
DB, those kangaroos, man. Those kangaroos are something else. That's some scary shit, man.
recorded. It's all done. I don't care who the fuck you think you are, but you're done.
Wait, what did I do?
He knows exactly what he did.
Nessie released a video about this entire situation on YouTube called Streamer Mash Reports Me After Being Trolled in Ark Raiders. And it was doing quite well, and how I first found out about this. The video was basically just
How many cats? I would say at least 5. It's normal if you have one cat and you live alone to have 2. I would say have a couple cats so they can, play with each other or whatever. But I would say she's got at least 4 or 5.
defending himself and pointing out that she was lying and saying
Why
he was
TV's dying,
harassing
can't
her.
compete
Later
with
on,
this
someone from
facts.
the Embark team, the people who made Ark Raiders, happened to be in Peach's chat. She said hello and then asked if they could.
Okay, here's the crazy thing. This woman is not a big streamer. In fact, I want to go check after we're done here. She's got like 500 Twitter followers. I don't think she has anything in her bio on Twitter about being like an Embark partner or a Twitch partner even. But this guy here, Embark Austin, says happy birthday. And then she asks him if she can ask him some questions.
Please help her with someone who was harassing her. And then Nessie ended up being banned from Ark Raiders for 30 days.
Yeah, so she talked to this dev behind the scenes apparently. And this guy banned him for 30 days, says your account's been suspended for behavior that violates our code of conduct. So playing the game apparently is violating a code of conduct, all right?
Nessie eventually found out exactly why he was banned and reached out to the Embark member to explain his.
So he reached out to the guy and says, hey, Austin, I'm sorry for reaching out this way. I believe you might recognize my name from an email you received from Peach XO. When reviewing her VODs for reasons that could have led to my Ark ban, I saw you in chat and assumed... So the only reason he even was able to reach out to this guy was because he went back and watched her VOD. Assumed the direct correspondence between you and Peach could have been what led to my ban, and it turned out that was correct. I feel horrible throwing accusations around, but there is no doubt in my mind that whatever email you received contained either outright lies or gross exaggerations. I've sent everything in my support ticket, but have received no reply in 5 whole days, and it feels unfair to be waiting in the instance of my interactions with Peach. It was myself who was actually harassed.
Case, and that he didn't actually do
Hey,
anything
Patriot.
wrong. The Embark member agreeing he would unban him as long as any future interactions with Peach would cease.
So Austin says, I see this as an uncomfortable situation. I'd be happy to undo the ban, but I would need your assurance that any future interactions with Peach would cease. I'm happy to have the same conversation with her. Dude, I'm sorry. No, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. So Nessie says, yes, please, I want this all to go away. Please understand, however, that OCE is small, and I have no idea if I run into her in game unless one of us kills the other and names show. Well, I mean, yeah, the thing is, the game has proximity chat, and just like how I play on the West Coast in certain servers like Apex Legends with my kids, and we see the same players every so often, he's probably going to bump into her again, unless they block each other, and then that somehow has an effect on how they pair in the lobbies. I don't know. He says, I really want nothing to do with her, and if I see her in game and somehow know it's her, I will leave the game or run away, whatever you want. What's this? Dude, Black Cat, it's this male simping, I guess is just the easier way of saying it, with these damn devs, these support people for these companies. Like, why are you white knighting for this chick who abused the system? No, you should unban this guy and ban her ass and kick her out from the game for like permanently. This is bullshit behavior. Like, no way.
Nessie agreed and said he just wanted to play Arc Raiders and wanted absolutely nothing to do with her. And then everything went back to normal.
Simp dumb, yeah.
Well, no. His video about the whole situation was then falsely copyright striked by Peach herself.
So, Nessie puts out a video talking about the entire situation, and she requests removal request issued by Peach. Now, this man here making this video actually took the time to redact her information in the request, or I guess Nessie might have when he uploaded this. But the crazy thing is, this is public information because these are people that all have YouTube channels and Twitch channels, and they can all stream. So this isn't like an invasion of privacy to put her username on here because she's a public person. Yeah, Cage, this shit's insane, man.
Despite it being a fully edited video that happened to show some clips from his stream for context, Nessie then filed a counterclaim, and
Nessie files a counterclaim, says just had to send this streamer my full name, address, and phone number. This was required to fight a copyright claim they made on my video. How cool that the person who got their chat to mass report me everywhere for killing them in Arc Raiders now has access to all this information.
with YouTube, you have to provide basically all of your identifying info, including your address when you do this. Great system. But surely, since the strike was false, his video came back and it's all...
I see it like Oblivion and you guys talking about like the fact this might have gotten her more views on her channel. I don't think so. I think if anything, you have to be like a really hot, like 10 out of 10 for guys to put up with this kind of bullshit, even in your chat. Because most guys are going to look at this and go, you're just being a bitch. Yeah, sure, the hardcore simps are going to always white knight for you. But I don't know, man. This seems crazy to me. Like, I can't imagine most guys would want anything to do with this chick.
Solved, right? No, his video is still down, and not only that, but Peach tweeted out that she reported him to an e-safety commissioner.
He made a hate video about me, so naturally I reported it to the e-safety commissioner, and he still won't stop, so now I'm reporting it to the police. I also copyright struck the video to YouTube as are a nightmare to talk to about harassment, bullying, and death threats. Oh my god. Can I name any 10 out of 10 women? You mean besides my wife? Are we talking just purely based on like attractiveness? If we're talking about like well-known celebrities, purely based on attractiveness, personality, eyes, smile, figure, whatever, I would say someone like a Rachel McAdams, a very normal-looking actress. You know, back in the day, maybe like not Elizabeth Hurley. Elizabeth Hurley was hot, but she's like super fakey now. Who was the chick on Underworld? Kate Beckinsale. You know, I don't know. There's some that I could say as far as like attractiveness go. You might be able to say like are 10 out of 10s, but not many. Certainly not in this modern generation of plastic surgery and far too much makeup. I see, Patriot. I've got good taste, man.
Because he made a hate video and that he still won't stop, so she's reporting him to the police. Obviously, Nessie never told anyone to leave comments or harass her. That's just naturally what the internet will do, and it's honestly not really anyone's fault but her own. Of course, the good old Streisand effect has come into play because she removed and striked his video. A YouTuber known as Theb releasing a video explaining all of this, getting 110,000 views.
Oh, that video I think it has like 300,000 views now that he's talking about, a different YouTuber talking about this.
Now I'm making a video as well. At the end of the day, it's a video game, and sometimes you just gotta roll with the punches. If I'd been betrayed like that in Arc Raiders, I probably would have had some interesting things to say to the guy, but that's as far as it would have gone. Thanks.
Yeah, I've been backstabbed by people on Arc Raiders or whatever, and it's whatever. It's a game. This is why people get this perception that Arc Raiders is like the baby PvP game. So this was Dolan Darkest, 415,000 subs shared by Quagmire on Discord. So I figured this was something that's actually worth talking about briefly. It's not going to take up a lot of time, but it was at least interesting. Now, the crazy thing about that is this guy here, Noobface on Twitter, said, let's get this straight for people who don't know the context. Nessie ran into the streamer Peach on Arc Raiders, who he betrayed after pretending to be friendly. She left a nasty comment on his profile. He went to her stream chat afterwards to say GG. She ranted about him. Ran into each other another day. Two deaths in a video game have now caused her to go after Nessie on all fronts. Harassment. Nessie gets a 30-day ban from Arc Raiders after she complains. Peach copyright strikes the video. Forced to dox himself. Peach uses the information from the copyright strike appeal to file a police report on him. This is the part that I think is the craziest, right? So all of this led up to him having to give her his information in order to protect his video that he made talking about it. Because again, it's you know, she can make content on it and so can he. It's fair game. But because of this, she was then able to turn around and use the information that she, let's just say, incorrectly was able to obtain through the doxing or through the doxing from the copyright strike to then file a police report on him. Like, this is freaking nuts. Yeah, this is going to hurt Arc Raiders for sure. Everything she's accusing him of is exactly what she's doing. Who knows what other crazy shit she's planning to do with this information? I mean, this is kind of insane. And so the funnier part is I looked her up on Twitter, and obviously, guys, not harassment. Don't go harassing her, whatever. I said, okay, a retarded entitled streamer falsely reports and copyrights another content creator for checks notes, lying to her and killing her in Arc Raiders. Now she's in hiding on X and likely still playing the victim over on Twitch. You can't make this shit up. Yeah, she's still in protected mode on Twitter. So when I say that it's like, you know, people will be like, oh, you know, she's going to get more viewers from this. I don't think so. Because now she's freaking in hiding, right? All started because of a video game. All started because a woman on a video game in front of her audience got embarrassed because a guy killed her, backstabbed her. I mean, honestly, it's probably more embarrassment than anything else. Look where she's from, Melbourne. Dude, you freaking called it, man. Oh my God. What is Melbourne like? The San Francisco, the Seattle, the Portland of Australia, the Austin. She doesn't deserve rights. Your words, not mine. I didn't say nothing, man. YouTube's problem with the way that you have to fight a copyright strike. Dude, I've never been in that situation. The only thing I ever had was when Danny Pena and his wife filed a privacy complaint, and I won. So I didn't have to do anything with my video. I didn't have to edit out anything or whatever. Yeah, it's part of the game, exactly. So for me, it was like, whatever. But still, I mean, it pissed me off quite a bit to see that shit pop up on my video. I'm like, wait, you guys have a public company and are public personalities, and I make a video talking about it, and somehow you guys can say, oh, he invaded our privacy. It's kind of like that South Park thing with, oh, what was her face? The one that married the not king from England and ran around. Meghan Markle. We want privacy. We want privacy. Hey, Bikini. Oh, we were just catching up on some retard Twitch streamer who reported a guy falsely for harassment and even tried to report him to the police because he killed her in Arc Raiders. Being exposed and inhaling cat piss for too long leads to brain damage. Imagine what 3 cats can do to one. Oh, they had the privacy tour. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, man. Good times. So, in other news, because we're going to get into Crimson Desert here in a minute, I don't know if you guys saw this. Windrose, that game that was blowing up all over Twitch and Steam and all that before Crimson Desert came out, is at 1.5 million wish lists and is already putting in like quality of life improvements. I guess that maybe they're shooting for a 2026 release. I'm not sure. Just says coming soon on this little note here. But they hit 1.5 million wish lists, and apparently they've got a whole bunch of stuff that they're working on. Co-op on one ship, manning the cannons, different types of loot, more players in co-op, trying to get people up to 8 players in a map at a time. A hold to gather your resources, FOV slider, shanties, like better, sea shanties, signal fires, DLSS, FSR support, okay. Controller improvements, that's a big one. Dismantling a workbench, target lock switch. Oh yeah, the thing that Xvoto didn't really have any instructions on. Exactly. I never fought the Sasha Grey DMC on me because she or one of her simps would probably abuse it. I didn't even know about that, man. But I'll keep listening while I investigate some floating flower pots. Dude, Patriot, it's really funny because I haven't touched Crimson Desert in probably like 3 days. And I want to, but at the same time, I'm conflicted because I'm trying to get back into Valheim, and it's like I don't have time for both, I didn't even bother playing enough to get the actual pirate stuff. I really hate the survival craft MMO stuff. Oh, dude, I love survival crafting games. The MMO feel of it, sure, I understand that. So when people wanted to compare Windrose to Valheim, I'm like, no, in Valheim, the self-progression, like going at your own pace, survival crafting elements of the game are far more satisfying. But Windrose was fun. Windrose was like a slimmed down, kind of dumbed down version of Valheim, in my opinion. Now I'm playing Screamer. I don't even know what that is. Not sure how much they'll be able to fix quickly, but this update patch seemed like a sign the devs are competent, maybe confused. Visser, I think that's 100% it. I think for a lot of people, it's kind of troubling with Crimson Desert that the patch seems to address a lot of things that they could have taken care of before launch. But if there's something to be believed from that story that the devs really couldn't push back on anything, and there was just, this kind of the toxic positivity, if not just aimless wandering going on in the studio before launch, not knowing what direction to take the game, it would make sense that the game released in the condition it did. And I'm not saying Crimson Desert released in a terrible condition or a terrible state, but there were definitely issues with the game, and we're going to go through some of those. Looked a bit slow, but I think I'll enjoy Screamer. I don't even know what Screamer is. Oh, the whole vibe of Valheim, dude. That game is a whole ass vibe. It really is. Okay, I gotta look this up now. What the hell is Screamer? I'm assuming it's on Steam. Screamer. Oh, it's the racing game? What? No.
I declare
What?
bankruptcy!
YouTube sucks for trying to fight a copyright claim.
Oh, for real, dude.
DMCA. Having to fork over personal info is unfair to the person having a strike put upon them.
Dude, I think that is the most bullshit way of handling anything. Thanks for the 5, man. I appreciate you, dude. I don't know what I will ever do in that situation. I mean, I'll probably just send my information to the person. What else am I supposed to do? But in that situation, I guess it depends on how important the video is. If it's a video that gets like 5 views, okay, it sucks to be the person to be like, bend the knee and just delete the video. But if it's not something that's really like if it's not doing that well, then whatever. But then that goes back to the whole thing about like if you delete a YouTube video after uploading it, does that screw you in the algorithm? And then that's people who worry about the algorithm. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I have no idea. Twin sticks controls are different from inertial drift, but I should get into it after a while. Enjoy the anime racing game. All right. This I gotta see. Let me play a bit of this trailer. Hang on. I have no idea. I know nothing about this Screamer game.
He's here. It's him. It's Gabrielle.
Gabrielle.
We need cars.
Yeah, what he said.
The Echo. We have touched your anger, tasted your fury. It has sharpened you, honed you. It is your greatest weapon.
リツコも言いたいことある？リツコ？
So it's a combination of English and
Screamer
Japanese.
tournament is
Interesting.
about to be announced, held by a Mr. A. Consider this your personal invitation.
Burn alive, you piece of shit!
I'm so confused right now. So it's an anime in the storytelling, but then it's more of a traditional racing game in other aspects. I mean, that could be cool if you're really into anime and racing. Two things that I don't watch anime, and I don't love most racing games. So for me personally, just not something I'd probably play. No shade though. I mean, like there's some good racing games. Tokyo Drift on crack. All about the anime bullshit here. Exactly what I want. Sudden change in art styles from anime to NFS is throwing me off so hard. It's a little different. Oh, it's native language. Anyone can understand each other due to a language implant. Oh, interesting. Did anyone else freeze for a minute? Oh god, I hope not. Don't tell me that we're having issues tonight, Cage. Please, no. I can't deal. I'm too tired. I am too tired tonight to have Streamlab or internet issues. I can't deal if we are, man. No way. No way. If it is, I'm just gonna unplug the computer while it's still running. Go get a... No, I'm not gonna say anything. It's just YouTube trying to shift the responsibilities into the users of their platform. They want you to go to court and leave them out of it. It gets that far. You'd think they would check before strikes. You would hope so, man. You would hope, Smeg, that they would actually have a brain about that stuff, but whatever. Anyways, so positive signs coming out of games like, you know, Windrose, which honestly, if it's a fairly priced game, if it's only like $30 at launch or whatever, probably gonna do better than Crimson Desert at launch. I could see that because this is another game that Asmongold streamed and absolutely loved. The reception about this game was wildly positive, so I could see this being a very, very massive success. Probably not a game that I would care too much about because I prefer the Viking aesthetic, games like Valheim. I mean, the pirate stuff's cool. I love Black Flag, but Tokyo Extreme Racer reboot on Steam was super well received. I have to play that one at some point too. Dude, I don't really do the racing games so much, man. It's a game everyone wants to play. I definitely think it could be massive. Dude, I think it will be massive. It ain't no fair game, but Windrose is okay. Oh, man, I really do hope Fair Game comes out. I really do. That would be amazing. I think that would be like the best thing ever. All right. So to ease us into all the discussion about Crimson Desert, I don't know how many of you guys have seen this video yet. It's not his best, but it's still funny. It's still good. Video Game Donkey made a video on Crimson Desert. Like I said, I love Donkey. His shit's hilarious. I've found him just a few months ago. I know this guy is 7-8 million subscribers on YouTube. But this video is still pretty funny. Sony probably did too. Let me see this one here. I love that it says compiling shaders down here at the intro. Honestly, the shaders don't take that long on my computer. People complain about like the loading screen, like the walking. It looks like you're walking into the freaking. What do they call that on Assassin's Creed? I haven't played those games in forever. Over at Abstergo, what do they have? The crap starts with an A. So how you access your ancestral memories. Why can I not remember what thing's called? Animus, thank you. Guys, I am so fried. My brain is shot. Oh my god. Whew. Apple TV's the Savant. Anal Mouse. Yeah, see, DB knows. Something I desperately want to come out someday as well. It was going to be a complete train wreck.
Today I'm playing Crimson Desert, and we're in a green forest. These idiots. Press X to talk to person. Carl.
I'll need to get some more the next time I'm in town.
Good idea, Carl. I'm gonna talk to Andrew now, and then Chris.
Better get myself ready.
Okay, where's Chris?
Head down that way. You'll be there in no time.
Thank you. I gotta speak with
I will say, after playing the game off stream, the one thing I still hate, and I don't know if they fixed this in the patches or not, we'll get into the patch notes in a minute, is the holding X to do every freaking thing. That gets really annoying.
This is Unka. Hey, Unka. Looks like an orc. Oh no, Unka's been stabbed. Watch out for this tree, Unka. Oh, it's like Assassin's Creed. It's like Assassin's Creed fighting, but with like the beautiful camera work of Bubsy 3D.
Oh, it's still there? Damn.
I swear I was in this place in Forspoken.
I didn't watch much gameplay of Forspoken because most people didn't play the game and very few streamed it. But even I kind of get the reference here. I think that's kind of a cheap shot, not gonna lie. But I definitely see it. I get it. Although, to be honest, I feel like this is more of I don't know, kind of a rip-off Tears of the Kingdom kind of vibe.
I swear I was in this place in Forspoken. Cross over the gap. I'm good at that. Now this water animation, you see, I don't know about this.
Those waterfalls
I don't
do
know
look
about
wonky
this.
for real.
Why does it look like claymation? Okay, you have rolling. It's a Dark Souls. Do you
What's the reason for the waterfalls hurting, guys? Is there something in the game later on where you have to like learn a skill to manipulate water so you can access behind the waterfalls? Is that the reason that the water hurts you? Tapping X is jump and tapping X is talk. Activate, then you'd be jumping while trying to activate and talk. Right? No, I get that. I'm just this is one of those situations where I prefer to play games on mouse and keyboard, but unfortunately there were things about mouse and keyboard that just weren't as well optimized as controller. No one played Forspoken to know about it. Fair enough. But yeah, the whole waterfall thing in this game, all I see is clips of people walking at a waterfall and getting like pummeled by it.
If you fall in the water, is it like a Dark Souls like that?
I haven't tried it yet
You
myself.
can swim in the water, okay. That's a new feature. The waterfall. They're breaking out all the water graphics early on this one, but I don't know, they're not winning me over with this. I don't know.
Today will be your last.
Not if I jump like this. You'll never be able to hit me. Oh no, they chopped my table. That's it. I'm hitting right bumper. All right, he's out of there. Now, how come these waterfalls look a lot better than the other ones?
All right, so not just the waterfalls. This is the thing. I still feel this when playing this game, but I'm slowly getting used to it. Like, at some point, there's something that it's hard to describe in this game that makes me feel like it's massive. The world is amazing. It's huge. There's so much to explore. There's so much life, but at the same time, it all just seems fake, if that makes sense. I mean, we talked about this with Ex Voto, about having like the Unreal Engine assets that are just kind of scattered everywhere. Like you look around and everything is technically pretty, but it almost just looks, I don't know, generic. And for me, that's just a lot of this game. You're at 28 hours. That's insane, man. That is nuts. I'm at like 5.7. Like I have not had any time the last couple of days to play the game. I sat down on Saturday morning. I was going to try to get an hour of the game in, right? Turned on the game, and the wife was moving the chairs away from the kitchen table so she could mop, and she's putting them in here in the office. And I'm like, I'm just going to turn this off, come back to it. I then went outside, did yard work. We had to get one of my kids to his team, photo session or whatever for their team photos. And then we had other stuff to do. I never played a game the rest of the weekend. Like, never got even back on. Oh, yeah, no, the game's not a 6 out of 10. The game, I put it at like I think somebody had it at like 7.8. I think Scirocco Gaming had it at 7.8. For me personally, I think it's a 7.5 to 8, 100%.
Is it because I'm like far away?
You stink of trouble.
No, I smell like pickles. I choose to kick this man. I kick you. I kick at you.
I thought you could actually attack all the NPCs.
Wait, you can? Stop shining the light on everybody, man. I'm just figuring out how the controls work. Don't worry, you guys.
With arms like yours, swinging a pickaxe should be a breeze. Fetch me a few good unbroken chunks, would you?
What is this, an MMO?
I feel like I'm reasonably angry at people trying to tell me a game is a 7.8. Why? What's wrong with that? Like, you don't like how precise the score is? If you have your graphics settings as high as possible, you're getting what I call soap opera effect, that new TV monitors details to the graphics movement is too crisp, so it looks fake. Well, this is a relatively newer monitor that I have. I picked it up over Christmas, and the game, when I play it, it's set on cinematic effect, so maybe that's something to do with it. If the graphics turn down a bit, the game doesn't look as fake.
Fetched your own ore, did you?
Maybe I should
No,
try
I
that.
didn't do that yet. I'm entering the realm of darkness.
I know what you mean. I'm playing Anachronix.
Oh, this is a story.
I don't know how to pronounce that, dude. I have no idea what that game is.
Win.
While not very open, it's far more immersive. The combat is probably better.
I win. Uh-oh, this kid, he got his cat went up there. Don't worry, kid. I'll use my
Yeah,
precision jump to
7.75
jump
exactly.
up there. Precision jump. Wow.
7.69.
Wait, no, the cat ran down now. Wait. Oh, no, I knocked the whole roof over. Oops. Wait, where'd the cat go? I'll get him. Don't worry, kid. Come back, cat. Come back.
Feels like it's
Oh,
rushed.
No, this is now.
Yeah,
no, all
it's
these
not.
ones.
It's not
Which one
his
is the real
funniest
cat?
one
Get
for
him.
sure.
Get him.
What?
No,
What?
No, don't go up there.
The thing
That's
is,
the
if
one.
you've never played the game, if
Now,
you've
why,
never
why
gone
is he
through,
looking at me like that?
Oh my God,
the
this right
cat's
here.
not even up there anymore. I got the cat. Who put this thing back up? Here, kid.
I heard there's a super scary animal in the north with huge teeth.
I thought you wanted this cat. I was trying to give you this cat. Why is pet right trigger but drop is R on the keyboard?
Okay, that is weird. What is with that, guys? Pet the cat, right trigger. He's playing on controller. Drop is R. If you had no keyboard, are you still able to drop the cat? 6 is closer is because you wouldn't accept any of this jank from an American developer. I'm looking at it just from the game itself, kind of like what the game has to offer as far as like the open world experience, the exploration and stuff. Nobody can articulate the difference between a 5.5 and a 5.4 and then any other number on the 100-point scale. That's for the averages on media sites, not individual reviewers. Fine, 7.235. 4K Samsung TV I put on game mode will affect gameplay. I don't think it affects gameplay beyond just your ability to like tell what's what. I don't know. Going deeper than that's dumb. Oh, fair enough. You probably have a point there. Controls are awful. Feels like it's missing options, even guides for gamepads. I haven't looked at the game since the patches, so I have no idea. But, I mean, yeah, he just goes through all the same stuff that we've talked about before. The broom with the chimney quest, which, to be fair, once you understand how the controls work, it's a pretty simple thing. It just feels weird at first. There was one other thing that he had in this video that I thought was pretty funny, but the rest of the video is kind of boring. So I'm just probably going to get off of this one, because honestly, Donkey is funny as hell, and this one's not his best work. But let me see here. What do we have? Oh, here we go. Here is the actual Crimson Desert patch notes. Just keep eating food instead of putting my weapons away. So, something I haven't paid much attention to because it hasn't been a problem. I assume that your health regenerates in some aspect because I get hurt in battle. I recover at some point after killing the enemies, and then I don't have to worry about eating to regain health, for example. So as far as I understand, it seems like the food is much more of a situation with like Legend of Zelda, where you can have different effects from different food you take, like food to make you more cold resistant or whatever, right? Well, Smeg, I don't want to be a controller user on the game, but the mouse and keyboard is just not as well optimized, man. So yeah, health slowly regenerates. I kind of assumed, or from killing people, or from whatever effects, you somehow must get health back, right? Keep forgetting left D-pad to right D-pad. The focused force palm button explanation is missing for gamepads. Well, there's a lot of stuff that, honestly, some of it, like the tutorial stuff, if you were paying attention to the game, that you would get no problem, but still have a problem translating that into the controls of the game itself. I think that's the number one issue. So they put out this patch, and this is, I think, the second or third patch that they've had. Patch includes some of the improvements and fixes we were able to prepare first, including changes based on your feedback, like the addition of a storage at Howling Hill and the beginning of improvements to keyboard and mouse controls. Version 1.0003 is available for download on Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, blah, blah, blah. We'll follow at a later time. We are continuing to review and improve various gameplay elements based on your feedback, and will bring you more fixed and improvements in subsequent updates. Thank you once again for the feedback and support. And it's a long list of stuff. Like, I don't want to have to go through all this. I'm sure that somebody has a video going through every single update, but there's a lot in the controls. So in controls, though, in general, it says improve the response speed of the interaction UI, improve the responsiveness of jump inputs, Fixed aiming to target the center of the screen when using a lantern or while unarmed. Improve the equipment quick slot so that reselecting your current equipment will stow it. Improve the responsiveness of the main menu UI. Fixed an intermittent issue where the main menu would not open. See, the funny thing is, like, a lot of the bugs the game have, I just didn't really have that many issues with. I've had news that only 1348 only have 7 active players right now. Dude, it's the saddest thing, Owamushi. I was actually just thinking about that. I shall regale you with words of internet chuds from all over the world. Get good. Oh man. Okay, Smeg, you're gonna crack up when you see. I don't know. You're not on Twitter, but you might have heard about this in a minute. Talking about getting good. The lighting an arrow in the game is apparently an issue for some people. Okay. Before I forget, Sony and Crunchyroll got hacked. Dude, isn't this like the millionth time they've been hacked at this point? It's impressive how they changed so much so quickly. I'm not gay. No, see, being on Twitter doesn't make you gay, but you'll catch the Twitter AIDS for sure, even if you're not gay. Let me see here. Boss fight and combats, NPC and NPC dialogue, UI fix. Like, guys, there's a lot. Like, this is a big freaking patch, right? But for some people, and I didn't want to be mean, and I actually quote tweeted this guy, and he responded with screenshots of complaints, and I'm like, look, I don't think you're an idiot. I'm just saying I accomplished this no problem. I don't understand how people are having a hard time with this. So you guys all know Destin, right? I think he was formerly at... Where did this guy work before? Destin Lagari, I think is how you say his name. Says, I can't figure out how to light an arrow on fire in Crimson Desert. May land in the I'm good camp with this one. Oh, XIGN. Okay. Crunchyroll's more secure than PSN? That's sad. Oh, I guess that doesn't take much. So he says, guys, I figured it out. Only took 13 hours. Of course, he pushed back on this when people were calling him dumb. Getting called dumb for this, but it's just bad design. I stick the arrow in, nothing happens, giggity. No feedback, I'm close enough for doing it right. I try a different spot, the brazier falls over. I try another, my character bumps it and puts his bow down, no light. The only interact is to turn it off. I give in and Google it. Yeah, I was right the first time. Videos flooded with comments complaining about the same experience. Game has little issues like this that detract from the fun. I didn't feel smart when I found out my first instinct was correct. I was annoyed at the game. 15,000 views on a tutorial to light an arrow on fire means you messed up, in my opinion. So he then brings up that they patched it apparently. So in this patch, I'm not sure where this is. It says improved camera movement when aiming a bow at a brazier and adjusted the range for lighting arrows accordingly. And it also added an indestructible one in front of the Lioncrest watchtower because I guess he knocked it over trying to light it, right? So Baltimore hated the game after 10 hours, 20 to 30 hours now. Dude, I was watching him stream today. Not Brazzers. No, not Brazzers, man. Oh my God. I don't even know if that's how you pronounce Brazzers. I think it's Brazzers. I'm not going to be I'm not going to apologize if I don't pronounce the name of a porn site properly. Like, not even, I don't even care. He can't even play at low resolution, dude. I've got a 9060 and I'm on DDR4 RAM. I don't know I don't know why people keep huffing this cope about the game's jank. It has good ideas, but the execution was poor. I mean, Black Cat, I'm on your side there. I think the execution was poor. I still think that there's probably enough there to overcome the negatives. So, Black Cat, one of my concerns beyond, I knew the story was going to be right? Mid, iffy, whatever. But when people like Kada and Atreus and a lot of people were all like, oh my God, game of the year, when they were watching clips of the game, my first concern is, are you going to be able to do all the things that they claim you can do? So for me, the game does actually do the things that my biggest concern was, can it actually, live up to the promises it's making? And yes, the technical side of things, all the things that it promised you could do in the game, suplex somebody, slingshot off of a tree, pick up all the animals, do all that crazy shit, the game delivered on. Now, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Brazzers, dude. I'm talking about what Cage said. Use the targeted glare from the sword radiance. That works too, right? You could do that as well. So my biggest complaints were obviously that I knew the story was going to be iffy. But my other concern was, can the game deliver on those other promises? Those actors are better than Hollywood now. I don't know. So apparently this was such an issue for him, not being able to figure out how to light an arrow on fire. And guys, that was one of those things that towards the end of streaming it for the first 3 hours, I actually had no problem doing. Of all the other things that I missed and wasn't paying attention to and screwed up in the game, I had no problem walking up to one of those and lighting an arrow on fire on like the first try, shooting at the vines and clearing the vines away. Like that's like gaming 101. So I don't know. I was going to buy Crimson Desert on Epic 2 to see from myself on my Arc B580 to see if it was good or not. I mean, the story's great. I don't know if people don't get it. I mean, I'm only 5.5 hours in, dude, so I don't know. Game has some mental tests. We call them puzzles. Some are simple, some are complex, where it shows the level of mental decline with how the simplest are causing people issues. I mean, the whole not being able to light an arrow thing, unless his game was truly bugged, where it would not allow him, no matter from what angle, no matter which one he stuck it into, to not catch it on fire, I don't understand. That's one that I truly don't get. Yeah, DB, I get it. It's one of those to each their own situations. I personally wish I hadn't bought the game, not because I hate the game, but because I'd rather just be playing Valheim. Like, straight up, this is a me issue with my backlog. I bought the game because I'm like, you know what? We could stream it a few times. I can have an honest opinion about the game, make a more informed opinion if I do videos about it. But from a from a backlogged library situation, I'll play Crimson Desert because the game's interesting. It's got a lot to offer. I just don't really, Skill issue. I lit the arrow instantly. I mean, Wise Ass Duck, it didn't take me any extra effort to light the arrow either. So we talked about this on Discord. The reviews are continually like going up. Currently sitting in mostly positive. This is English. I don't know if we changed it, if that would make a difference. Let me see here. Let's go all languages. No, it's still sitting at mostly positive in all languages. So clearly they are doing enough that they are earning goodwill back, despite the fact that the game was pretty mixed when it launched, right? They already said they're going to add Arc Sport. Well, there you go. Oh yeah, Cage, honestly, I'm having more fun with the game now. This is the thing. I am torn. I am honestly torn about the game in one respect. Because he's got Crohn's. No, dude, honestly, like that's the least of my issues right now. My back is a much bigger issue than the Crohn's. The game is one of those things where there are parts of it I love, parts of it I hate, and in general, it's a decent game. And long term, it could be really, really cool. I don't know. It seems like it's a very divisive game for a lot of reasons. What worked? What are we talking about? Oh, what he did with the burning away of vines? Yeah, no, the being able to focus light and stuff, that's pretty cool also. Missed the first part of my comment. It was a great gag. What? Wait. I don't see the first part of your comment. Oh, because I got issues with backlog. Yeah. I don't have stamina and the skills, but once you get things rolling, it's awesome. So that's the other part, dude. DB says it feels like OG Morrowind. If you weren't searching for it, the main story was hard to follow. There were more bugs I've found in that too. The thing about the game that I keep hearing, and okay, you guys know I love Dezembro, that long-winded bastard from Portugal. Like, another made-up place. Portugal's not real. The problem, though, is Dezembro is trying to be objective about it, but he really loves the game. And so a lot of times, I even quote tweeted him on Twitter today, yesterday, I'm like, dude, the issue I have with Crimson Desert is the same issue I had with Marathon. You can't tell people, here, pay $70 for my game, but you have to play it for 8 or 10 hours before you enjoy it. And he was all like, I'm not seeing anybody say that. And I'm like, all you got to do is spend 5 seconds looking around. And there are a lot of people who are like, I didn't enjoy the game until 8 hours after this, or I didn't enjoy the game until 16 hours. I didn't enjoy the game until I got like 5 hours in. It's a common thing. People are all saying that. It's like, if you're not seeing that, you're just not looking for it. And again, that doesn't mean that the game is bad. It means that it was poorly designed in the early stages of the game. If the game isn't going to interest somebody until after 3 or 4 hours, that's a problem, right? You know, Patriot says he's been enjoying it right out of the box, and that's fine. You have, and that's great. But a lot of people haven't, and that's a big issue, right? Those people who are saying blah, 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 play a long time are silly. I enjoyed it within 30 minutes of starting. But DB, the problem is that a lot of people are all saying the same thing, right? The game can hook you in the first 5 minutes. Problem is you have 2 to 3 hours of tutorial that slows down. You know why, Zesduck? My entire... sounds like a them issue. Well, Patriot, it's a them issue, but it's also an issue if they want to sell their game. If the game developers want to make money, it's the same shit about Marathon, man. This is where I'm like, you have to be consistent. If people that were glazing Marathon are telling you, well, it's an amazing game, but you have to play it for 10 hours before you really start to understand it and get good. Okay, if that's the way the game is designed, that's fine. That's fair. But you still have to expect people to play the game for 10 hours or to care enough to play the... Like, for Marathon, I can't get past it because I can't stand looking at it. For me, that's a purely aesthetic thing. Crimson Desert's much more pleasing to look at. The games do seem to have that similarity, though, you know? I'm all for a game that's made for people like me and not for everyone. Yeah, that's fine, but just like we talked about with Marathon, if you make a game for a niche audience and expect only a small amount of people to want to play your game, but you have a budget of a massive AAA game, that's great, but you're not going to be making games for very long, you know? If they downgraded it. But dude, I don't think... Look, I don't think Crimson Desert is beyond like the gameplay mechanics. Anything... I don't know. I don't want to say it's nothing special because there are certainly things about the game that it does that I've never seen in a game before from like a lot of videos I've seen from people posting online. I don't know. All boils down to personal preference. So many of y'all streamers talking like I want you to hear to how you feel. Oh no, I don't care how I like. You don't have to feel how I feel about the game. I said the game's like a 8 out of 10. There's nothing wrong with the game. I think 8 out of 10 is a pretty good score. You're missing the point I'm making in that the respect that we've all spent a lot of time shitting on Marathon, and the biggest defense for that game was the fact that you have to play it for infinite number of hours to understand it and get good, and people don't need to sit through a game for 5 to 10 hours before it gets enjoyable. It's supposed to be enjoyable. It's a game. It's entertainment. And if it's not entertaining within the first hour or so, then what's the point, you know? I have 90 hours of Marathon, but I know the game is badly made. Dude, that's like a masochist, man. Let me see. I glazed Tainted Grail, and it's not awesome until you get out of the asylum in the beginning. Yeah, well, this is part of a problem with like certain types of games where the more intricate systems you have, the longer it's going to take to explain things to the character, to the person playing the character. And that I understand. You can't just throw somebody in the deep end of the pool the first time swimming and expect them to survive. The issue comes back to how do you keep their attention in the meantime, right? DSP's taught us all so much. I actually have a DSP clip brought up here. The world doesn't revolve around streamers. Yeah, DSP taught us all otherwise. When you finally get to Honolulu is when the game gets good. I don't know, guys. It's such a tough, like, especially with games like, think about like the second. This was a criticism of KCD too. A lot of people were claiming that Vavra and Warhorse Studio made KCD 2 so slow in the first 2 hours of the game that you wouldn't, they won't see all the gay stuff, they won't see all this other stuff, and you won't be able to refund it because you'll be past that 2 hour window because the intro, the prologue, takes so long to get going, right? It's crazy. I have over 90 hours in character creation. Dude, no, not me. 5 minutes or less character creation screen, man. Like, I mean, give me the most generic white boy, give him a mohawk, give him some mutton chops, put a big scar on his face, some big ass tattoos. He's good to go. One of those games I'm perfectly fine sinking my time into. Acts like an MMO. There's no one else to bother my enjoyment of the MMO. See, I've seen people talk about that. If the entire point of an MMO is to play with other people, like, I get it. Not everyone wants to mess around with playing with other people, but at the same time, it's, I don't know. I put this poll out there on YouTube earlier. Let me see. Let me update this. Let me see what we're up to now. Okay, so kind of that, like I said, 8 out of 10. This poll has 756 votes on it. Now, I don't know if anybody who actually took or voted on this poll actually owns or played the game. I said after the AI drama and a couple of patches, how are we currently feeling about Crimson Desert? 81% positive, 19% negative. I mean, 8 out of 10, right? Well, okay, so Owamushi, that is a real issue for a lot of people, but I don't want to do this as like a, oh, well, I don't have time to play the game, so that it's a bad game. Like, I'm not trying to make that argument that because not everybody can pour infinite numbers of time into a game, the game has to be 100% the best thing you've ever played from the get-go. Some games do take a little while to get going. The issue I have is, what is the reasonable expectation for a game where people need to be able to enjoy it at a certain point before it's like 9 hours down the road and you go, oh, I'm finally starting to have fun. You know, it's just tough, you know. GW2 can be played as a solo RPG, and even WoW is making a lot of group content into solo experience. Oh, really? Are you talking about Guild Wars 2? Because I never got into Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2, I played the all the expansions for Guild Wars, and Heart of the North, I the North, was the final expansion for Guild Wars that I recall. And that one was really supposed to tie into Guild Wars 2, and I don't think it ever did. I think they went with a completely different direction for Guild Wars 2. Oh, I'm in agreement. The issue is you can't request 10 hours from someone that's limited. I mean, you can... Here's the thing. There's a certain amount of reasonable expectations of a game. If you know a game, for example, like me, I've got a limited amount of time to play, but I can do a 100-hour game, but it's going to be the only game I play for a month, right? That's me. I've put over 120 hours into Arc Raiders. In that period of time, it was the game that I played for the majority of about a month and a half. So that's reasonable. People don't need to cater their games to an audience based on however many numbers of hours they have to play it. My point is simply, if you're going to make a product and you want people to actually play it, and you want people to feel excited about it, if you have a demo, if you've got early trailers and footage that you want to get them hooked on, or if like Marathon did the Server Slam, you shouldn't put it out there and then say, okay, so you've played our game, you've seen what our game has to offer, you're not going to have any fun for the first 10 hours. At that point, a lot of people are going to go, okay, if that's your expectation, before I can have fun, I don't want to play the game. I think that's a reasonable approach to have. I don't think the length of time you can play a game for, any studio, any developer needs to worry about. That's on a personal level for each person who's a customer and whatnot. Okay, so getting into some of the posts I've seen recently about like the gameplay and all that. Someone says Crimson Desert gameplay sucks. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody say the gameplay sucks. Like, the gameplay is fine. There's nothing wrong with the gameplay other than like button mapping and all that. Hooked on Diablo 3 instantly. Some games have that ability. Some games absolutely have that ability to kind of hook you for like from the get-go. Unfortunately, a lot of current, more modern games don't seem to do that. So here you go. Here's a clip. This is from Nick Tech. Like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, not gonna lie, I don't know many other games other than like a freaking Spider-Man game where you can do that shit, right? That's pretty awesome. Oh god, from Fleek goes, oh, dude, Fleek is probably gonna have an amazing video on this. Says it just works. I think that's what he's quoting Todd Howard.
And one of the great things about having a fully dynamic game engine is all of this just works. It's not, I'm not kidding.
Oh my god, the floating horse. Oh yeah. Yeah, we saw a bit of that in X Photo. People that were just like launching up into the sky because they were walking on some imaginary whatever. My problem's my backlogs. Well, then Mushi, then that sounds like a problem that I have similar issues with, and that's on us, man. That's more of a, we have to figure out how to play the games that we have and don't have FOMO when the new game comes out, you know? Okay, here you go. After wasting 20 minutes slamming his head into a boss with nothing but starter gear, Phil concludes that Crimson Desert is not a good game and rage quits. I think we talked about this previously, didn't we? Peak DSP.
What am I playing this for? No, really. What am I playing this for?
You did send me this one, I'm pretty sure.
The game is awful. Yeah, I'm sure. That's why I fucking did it. The game sucks. That now that you actually got to the first point in the game where you actually have to fight for real, the game is terrible. That is just atrociously bad. There's nothing fun about.
How many hours? Wait. I have more hours in the game than he did at this point. This says playtime 4.7. I can't really tell what that is. 4.7. I've got 5.7 hours in the game, and I've never even come across a boss. Like, because I've just been like going around doing quests, mining, pickaxes, then just chopping down trees and shit. Why is he fighting a boss, especially a boss that can one-shot him at 4 hours into the game? Maybe him dying the second or third one. Requires good timing and tactics. Well, that's something that DSP doesn't have. But furthermore, it's like he's playing that boss, I guess, with starter
Not that
armor.
game engine at all. When you fight regular enemies, they're all weaklings. You hold a trigger and you murder hundreds of enemies in a row. Then you get to a boss and none of your fucking attacks do anything. Fuck this game. Really.
Cage, what I want to know, it can be done in starter armor. Well, you just got to be better at dodging attacks, I guess. He can't play a game without being told what to do unless his chat holds his hand and he rushes through shit unprepared for bosses. What I don't understand is, like, for me personally, there's no game that I have that I can't beat on my own, that I can't play on my own, but it has to be off stream. I cannot focus on streaming and playing a game. It's too much. Unless I said, fuck you guys, I'm going to ignore all of you and just play my game. At which point it's like, well, what the hell? What's the point of you guys being here if I'm not going to talk to you? That doesn't make any sense. But is DSP one of these ones who, if he's not streaming, if he's not being a lolcow, do you think he could actually sit down and play the game? Or like, armor doesn't protect you enough from its attacks? Like, at some point, I have to wonder if DSP, if it's all an act, I drop in and see the king. Couple learned skills that help deal with that boss, but you don't really need them. So, what, Equilibrium just said that they actually nerfed some of the bosses, I guess? Swear that whiny guy just plays the same comments on every game he wants to shit on. It's not an act, it's legitimately something else. I mean, that's just, I don't know, guys. That's just crazy. However, if you were to press me about a complaint, it would be the narrative. Normally, it's the most important bit for me. In my opinion, the races are too same. See, Patriot, that's the thing, because you are definitely much more, like, I was okay with the concept that the story was going to be like a backseat kind of thing in this game. But I know that you are much more of, like, when it comes to the story of games, like more of the narrative-driven type. And I don't want to say narrative-driven, like, Last of Us or freaking God, all those gay games. The ones that Life is Strange, like that kind of narrative game. They all act pretty close to human, all the sapient races, right? I've been saying it's an act for the longest time, really. Think of a game journalist and they're going down a few pegs. That's DSP. Oh my God. All right. So Crimson Desert player reaches the edge of the map and gets eaten by a giant whale. I mean, this is a pretty cool system for making the map a limited size. Sweaters are raging on forums because of the nerfs. Oh man.
I can't stress this. He's a mom, no joke.
I mean, that's a pretty cool system for getting to the edge of the world. He's a Mong. That's another one of your Australian expressions, isn't it? What is a Mong? A retard? I legit play book games. Life is Strange, I only care for 2. I won't bother with the lesbian ones. It's an insult to Mongolians. Oh my God. No. Hang on. Oh man. What the hell is that? I've never heard Mong. Did you mean Moog? Not Moog. I've never heard that expression before. Need it. We speak a different dialect of English over here, man. We're American. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Angelica Tosh saying I might just have to play this game. Fully armored kitty. All right, not gonna lie. Mong is shorter for Mongo. What Mongo means, I don't know. Mongoloid. Oh, Mongoloid. Okay, got it. We also use in Portugal. Dude, that's literally, I spend my days on Twitter with people calling each other the most heinous of things that they could ever think of. And that's just not one that pops up. Free Tibet cat. Oh my God. Oh yeah, that's great. So I guess real life fake wizard said don't play it on console. Make sure your PC specs are ready for it. Guys, this is a thing. Of all the complaints that people have about this game, I just don't get ready to do boring quests for 100 hours. This is the thing about this game. It's super divisive. Like, somebody might go, oh my God, I love the quest. I love the story. Everything's great. Gameplay's 10 out of 10. Best game ever. Could spend, like, I think it's Wolfhard, YouTuber, has spent like 115 hours, and he's like, I'm just finding things I'd never even seen before. The way he talks, if you like it, you're dumb. Oh, RLF hates this game so far? Okay, yeah. Mongols are right up there with Koreans and Chinese in my racial tier list. Not common these days, it's a bit older. Oh, you're calling Smeg old. Well, he is older than me, so that could be it. One of the most powerful boosts in damage and armor in this game is the Anvil Grindstone. You know, you're headed to a boss and getting buffed before make a lot of boss fights almost easy. Oh, interesting. Okay. There, I'm an old fart. Serrano, I don't watch his YouTube videos. I don't know. I know nothing about real life fake wizard. I assume he has the beard because he can't grow one himself. That's just kind of my assumption. Seems all right. A lot of people I follow him. I don't know. Massive YouTube channel. He's doing really well for himself. I don't dig the whole dressing up bit for every YouTube video thing. I don't know. I'd rather be, if I was going to do that, I'd rather be a freaking VTuber, and I don't fuck with VTubing for the most part. He can grow one. I've seen him without the fake beard. Oh, well, there you go. We have different dialects between Washington and Jersey. Dude, for real. Half the people that are Washington natives, like a lot of the older generation, a lot of the women especially, they say they don't wash their dishes. They say, I washed my dishes. I washed my car. And it's like, there's no R in wash. What the hell's wrong with you? It doesn't take the dressing bit that serious. Works really well. Goofy Wizard outfit on random backgrounds just look funny. I know, I've seen them do like a lot of like the Office backgrounds and stuff. It's weird. Maybe the reason for the hate of Crimson Deserts because they didn't support... I mean, maybe Owamushi, but honestly, it's weird. It seems like... I don't even know if it's like a chud anti-woke thing versus, you know, insane blue-haired Karen non-binary pronoun-pushing weirdos. I don't even know if the game is so much that. It kind of... like there are parts of it that have fallen Eastern dev versus lefty lunatic Western, you know, that have kind of come into the scene. I don't know that it's all explicitly that, though. LGHD TV joke. I know. It's just easier for me just to kind of, like, summarize. But quests aren't bad. I don't know what the complaints are about when in context of what the game is. Perlibus was very upfront. Do I wish more quests were complex with multiple outcomes? Yes, but it wasn't their focus. Beg. Smeg, I have a sister-in-law from Wisconsin and a brother who's been married to her living in Wisconsin for, like, 15 years now. He went from being... plain Jane, well, he's a guy, but still, the accent over here. Washington has one of the most boring accents you would ever have in this country. We have like very few things that we say with any like inflection or dialect of any of our, like we have the most boring accent you could ever hope for in this entire country. And yet he moved to Wisconsin, married a Wisconsin girl, and now he talks like this, don't you know? And everything is, you betcha, and yeah, the whole bag thing, yeah, plain James, exactly. It's crazy. It's like, dude, you were not from Wisconsin. What are you doing? But he spent enough time around the cheeseheads that he talks just like one of them now. Doing quests in RPGs is boring. We have these people with cinema story on rails. I'll take from the wizard. Like I said, I didn't watch his video. I don't follow his content, so I don't know. Niall Sankey, who I guess is a ex-Bungie dev, at least he claims he is. I've seen this guy around. I think that's the guy I'm thinking of. Says, seems like Crimson Desert and Marathon have one thing and only one thing in common. The Glazers say you got to play it for 100 hours and then it'll be fun. Trust me, bro. And I think this is a big exaggeration. Like I said, I've seen people with Crimson Desert say 6 hours, 8 hours, get through the first couple hours. And for me personally, I would say it's true. You get through the first couple hours of the game when the world actually opens up and it becomes more fun. I think that's fair. you know? Like a Fargo character. Yeah, pretty much. Oh yeah, don't you know? Exactly. Crimson Desert, one of my favorite things is when you talk to certain people marked as white dots on the map, other quest lines may open up elsewhere from what... I mean, yeah, they definitely have plenty to do. So, of all the criticisms that I will have of the game, the things that I think they nailed by far were the open-ended options for what you can do in the game, for 100%. But again, going back to Decembero saying he is not seeing any of this, I mean, like I said, I love the guy, but I could go through Twitter right now and look up Crimson Desert tweets and find a million different people saying 5 hours into Crimson Desert and I don't know how I feel. There's no real story. Gameplay so far is hack and slash with nice graphics. It's like Assassin's Creed plus The Witcher, with the main character being Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. I mean, literally the plot is Jon Snow. First you die, you get revived, spoilers. You fight in the north and resemble wolves. You get guided by a white crow and end up getting a black crow flight ability, and the literal first boss you fight is King Joffrey with a Lannister pin. I didn't even realize that the pin looked like the Lannister crest. That's kind of funny. That is kind of funny, actually. I didn't notice that.
You mean people have preferences and some things
I didn't
don't
come to
relate
Crimson
them,
Desert expecting
but they
good
do
story.
to
And
others.
that's the thing. Most people, I think,
kidding.
understood that and expected that. They didn't expect Crimson Desert to be like some amazing story. Yo, Smeg with the 5. Doesn't make sense. You mean people have preferences and some things don't relate to them, but they do to others? Yeah, exactly, dude. I'm Kayat. Oh my god. Shocking. Shocking. Dude off of Boston Legal. Oh, that's how I'm aging myself, guys. I'm showing my age, referencing Boston Legal. Well, that show was awesome. Y'all, I could have talked about the whole Star Trek show getting canceled tonight, but honestly, I just don't care, because I was never a big Trekkie. I watched Next Generation. I watched some of the old reruns of, like, you know, William Shatner and stuff, the old Captain Kirk Star Trek. But William Shatner, as much as I love him, he's had some dog shit takes the last couple of hours over the whole Star Trek cancellation. And it's like, I just don't care. Dude, Boston Legal, freaking amazing show, man. Oh my god. Great show. Denny Crane. Yeah, but I'm not a Trekkie at all. I was a Star Wars kid. So for me, it was like, yeah, Owamushi, they canceled the 3rd season. The 2nd season's still coming out. And I know a lot of people that kind of exist in the same space that I cover content in really care. There's a lot of Trekkies in the gaming sphere and all that. And I get it. No hard feelings about it. But it's like, it's just, for me, I just don't care that much about Star Trek. 99% of Crimson Desert, let's keep throwing shit at the whiteboard and make it work. And if it works for them, that's the thing. If people are enjoying it, then that's what really matters, right? Yeah, exactly, Equilibrium. Yeah, they canceled the 3rd season, so which means the 2nd season is still going to come out. Oh, Smeg, one of James Spader's. I've been watching, because I never really watched much of seasons like 7, 8, and 9 of The Office after Steve Carell left. You know, I love The Office. Seasons 1 through 5 are some of the best TV ever. But seasons like 6 and 7 for Steve Carell weren't great, and then seasons 8 and 9 after he left the show, they just got worse. And, you know, at night, after I finish reading, I'll put on an episode of The Office. I'm working my way through the seasons again, and I'm on season 8 now, like halfway through it. And James Spader on The Office is still funny because he's James Spader, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's just not great. No, Boston Legal, phenomenal show. Absolutely phenomenal show. Great writing, man. But you don't get writing like shows like Boston Legal nowadays. Star Trek was dead to me with the Abrams reboot. Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate that people loved Star Trek for what it was. I just personally had no connection to it. But it is funny. I didn't realize that there was these connections, kind of like, not connections, obviously, but these similarities with the whole Game of Thrones, Jon Snow. Here's the thing. A lot of things take inspiration from other things. Does that mean that they're copying something? Does that mean that it's a ripoff? I don't know. I'm going to leave that to be determined by people who are actually playing it. Yeah, Robert California, not great. He had a few funny moments when he said, like, I'm the fucking Lizard King. Smeg, I tried really liking the Blacklist. The first couple seasons, I was intrigued. I was interested in it. I'm like, okay. I didn't start watching, like, I didn't see the first few episodes. I started watching, like, maybe, like, halfway through the first season. Watched the first couple seasons, and I'm like, all right, let's see where this goes. When it turned into, like, every character died and then came back from the dead, and then this person got... I just got to be too... The Blacklist should have been, like, maybe 3 seasons and then been done. Dude, Hannibal is one of those TV shows that was phenomenal for 2 seasons and then fell off a freaking cliff because season 3 was so bad. So bad. Next Generation was amazing, but Patrick Stewart, don't say anything bad about Patrick Stewart. I loved Patrick Stewart on there. Scrubs isn't bad. Dude, Geek, all I ever see is their freaking T-Mobile commercials those 2 idiots are on. And I'm like, look, Scrubs was funny back in the day. It was funny at the time. I don't know, man. Deep Space Nine probably would be my favorite if I watched it now. I wasn't allowed to watch it as a kid. My mom was like, oh, that one's like super dark. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, Patrick Stewart was amazing. Okay. It's watchable. My brother told me I'd like The Blacklist. Hearing that, I won't waste my time. Yeah, Cage, honestly, the first few seasons of The Blacklist were really enjoyable for what they were. Next Generation's the stuff. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think even if you were a Star Wars fan, not a Trekkie, Next Generation was great TV. It was just really good, you know? So another post here saying, I have managed to pinpoint the exact moment Crimson Desert dials it to 11. It's when you meet the intriguing Shikatsu, I think is his name. I haven't met him yet, so I don't know. The same guy, the other guy just compared it to like one of the Lannisters, right? I think it was Jamie. Says, you then get into your first real boss battle with the Horn Splitter. It took me around 16 hours to finally meet Shikatsu because I'm taking my time. So this guy here is saying that the Crimson Desert finally dials it to 11 at 16 hours. Another person had previously said they were right. The first 8 hours suck big time. And that was another big account that had said 8 hours in is like the worst of it. Like I didn't enjoy the first 8 hours I played the game, which is crazy because I'm 4 or 5 hours into the game and I was already having a good time by that point. You just got to push through. It actually does get better. This is like somebody being treated with like cancer, like you're like a dying some terminal disease, and they tell you it'll get better. Like I don't want to play a game with when someone tells me, "Don't worry, the first 8 hours are going to be the most miserable time in your life, but it'll get better, guys." Like, come on. I'm just a fan of science fiction and science fantasy. Fair enough. I was done at 5 hours of Horn. See, I don't even know who Horn Splitter is, but I'm just kind of like when I played the game, I was just kind of fucking around. Burn Notice. I never watched Burn Notice. I can't even remember who's in Burn Notice, to be honest. Field Devil Boss is far better. Oh, Terminal List. My wife was watching that the first season a couple years ago when it came out. I caught a few episodes, and yeah, pretty good. Copium, they're freebasing it. Once it starts getting good, stop sucking, it starts getting good, I've heard. Yeah, basically, exactly. And I'm not saying that every person who plays it is going to feel this way. My point was simply that these posts do exist, you know, and that a lot of people have said this. This guy quote tweeted and said, my coldest take is if your game sucks for its first 8 hours, then it sucks, period. So you'd rather start a game like this with maxed out skills and stuff and just spawn. And now see this false dichotomy. Plenty of games start you off needing to like regain your equipment, your skills, relearning things, learning new combat moves and all that kind of stuff without the game sucking. I mean, games like Prince of Persia are a prime example of that, right? So I don't like either argument really. Still playing Metaphor Refantasio 840 hours in? That's crazy. Show that was a bit of a slog, episode 1, but was worth it later was The Expanse. I've heard good things about The Expanse. The nerf since Reed Devil, now it's a snooze fest. I saw a funny meme, guys. That was basically, it was one of those, I think it was the Broom Quest. I can't remember. It's like anybody who did this thing before the first patch, right? And it was one of those like annoyingly awful quests. The Expanse is a 10 out of 10. You're a while away from the Horn Splitter. He's the first boss. You can rush your way to him, though. I don't feel like rushing. I like messing around in the game, seeing what it has to offer, kind of like exploring. I don't know. Guy just wants a bigger openness. It was arm wrestling? What are we talking about? The arm wrestling thing, that was, oh, that's what it was. Yeah, no, dude, honestly, the arm wrestling thing I did on my first try. I don't understand that one. I shared this one in my last video I did. Bro, it clicks after 400 hours. The 100-hour 7 out of 10 enjoyer. Who needs good story or good exploration? Just hack and slash. Next Witcher, man. Look at the graphics. What the fuck is an art direction? And again, I these are just memes. Like, this is one of those games that I legitimately, if you love it, great. If you hate it, great. I don't take any of it personally because I'm still sorting out how I feel about the game. Objectively, I look at the game and go, yeah, I could see like a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10 for most people who are enjoying it. I get it. I get it. I don't know that I'm ever going to enjoy it as much as the average person. I don't know. Seems complicated. Aren't most good shows complicated, though? I can't believe people struggle with the arm wrestling. Dude, Smeg, I nailed it on the first try. That's the craziest part. Did not say openness. He said opiness. I didn't want to say opiness, though. I know what Oblivion meant. I didn't want to give you the satisfaction of hearing me say opiness. Oh, my God. Yeah, see, Patriot, they're just trying to get me to say things like that I don't want to say. Watch Green Room. Green Room. So now that I'm on book, hang on a second. So Blood of Elves, Time of Contempt, Baptism of Fire. So I'm on the 4th of the 5 Witcher books, but I read the 2 prequels. So I'm on the 5th out of 6 books that I've read. No. I can't keep track. I cannot keep track, guys. Long story short, we're supposed to watch The Witcher again to see how bad it really was compared to the book once I get done with the books. My wife was asking about that. I'm like, sure, we can put back on the series. I didn't watch season 4 with Henry Cavill's like Temu replacement. I'm curious how they did. People that watched season 4 of The Witcher said that the show was actually better than it was previously. So I don't know. Maybe I'll make myself suffer through that. Yo, Owamushi with the gifted membership. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, man. If you didn't want to say it, why did you say it twice? I'll say it again. Opinus. There you go. Oh my God, you guys. This very AFK sounds bright. I pre-ordered it, but I won't play it. Well, okay, so he works for Larian. He is some big shot at Larian. I can't remember what his actual job is. But yes, he works at Larian. He's working on Divinity. Yeah, video game discourse is so unique because in spite of... Now, I know that what he says here sounds a little stupid, but I can almost relate. And let me explain in a second here. He says, video games discourse is so unique because in spite of pre-ordering Crimson Desert, I have neither the desire to play it nor refund it. I have experienced it like secondhand smoke in an airport. It's whatever. It has clung to me. Now, I'll clarify, because if I pre-ordered a game and then no longer had the desire to play it, I would just refund it. I don't have money to waste like that. I would refund the game and move on with my life. And say, that's a damn shame. I was excited. The hype was killed. I'll move on. I do him a little stupid. No. Where I can relate to this is the Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 situation. Because I did pre-order the game. I was excited about it. I was hyped about it. I was covering it on the channel. I was playing through the first game. I got like 40 some odd hours into the first game. I was like, okay, I'm not done with the first game. I can always go back and revisit it, but I want to play the second game and see how it is. Then all the drama started, all the controversy, all the fighting within the anti-woke side of things. You know, the gay guy, the black guy, this and that, right? And so for me, it killed a lot of the hype. I played like 12 hours of KCD2 or something like that. And the game is still technically really, really good. It's a technically solid, like really well-made game. It just, I don't know. I got burned out on all the discourse around it. So that in that one respect, I can say I understand what he's saying. The problem is, this guy who's over here saying, I bought it, I'm not going to refund it. I just don't really... It's like, dude, if I hadn't played KCD2 for 12 hours, I would have refunded it and then picked it up again down the road when it's like half price right now. You know? Why do you have pre-order games? I mean, dude, honestly, for most people, it's only a thing if there's like a pre-order bonus or it's like a developer that they really, 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 really love and worship, and they think, the one developer, this one studio, they can do nothing wrong. I want to support these guys, right? Feels stupid pre-ordering Diablo 4, paying $110 for the ultimate version. Then they make a new game devaluing my pre-order purchase. Dude, Mushi, that's the unfortunate thing that they do. Those are the kind of practices that have a lot of people pissed off at Bungie over like a lot of the shit they pulled with, Destiny 2 and all that. But people live and learn. So like I said, in that respect, I understand what he's saying. I'm not saying that I wholeheartedly agree with it. Pre-ordered. I think I pre-ordered Black Myth Wukong, and I was not regretting that one at all. You know. That was me with Warhorse, and they proved me wrong. Gonna be sore over that for a while. People still don't leer. Guys, I hope the leering meme never goes away. Yeah, honestly, Black Myth Wukong was one that I was 100% confident in pre-ordering, and the game is fantastic. So then you got guys like Andy Cortez. Yeah. Saying shit like this. Truly had no idea the loser gamer chuds were claiming Crimson Desert's success as an anti-woke victory. LMAO, they just make up the weirdest nonsensical shit. I haven't seen this. Someone else brought this up in the chat. I have not seen this being a thing. Most people, I would say, who ideologically exist on the same side of, on the opposite side of people like this, obviously, of Andy Cortez and these kind of freaks, are pretty much split down the middle, right? Andy who? Yeah. One of the guys who works at Kind of Funny and isn't funny at all. Wukong is not on my backlog, Patriot. For me, it's in that I've played like, I can't remember how many hours. I'm halfway through it. And I got to where the game was really getting good, and then I got distracted by another shiny object. It's one of those unfortunate things where it's like, I'm at that point now, and look, I'm finally back after, 300 hours of Valheim, where I'm like, I'm gonna finish the damn story, that at least the game as it stands right now, you know? He's a Massey clown? What does that mean? That's all of funny games, guys. 100%, exactly. I think some people are assuming if journos hate it, it's based anti-woke. If they love it, it's DEI slop. The journos didn't hate it, though. The journos gave it an 8 out of 10. It was individual outlets that shit on the game. The journos across the board didn't hate the game. Journos, and this is one situation where if you look at the Metacritic, I know some people don't care about Metacritic, I get it, but like if you look at the Metacritic scores, the critics, the journalists, and the players have it right around the same score. So it's not even like it's that big of a difference, you know? Just like Fighting Cowboy. Oh, yeah. Oh, Squirrel. Yeah. Dude, I am massively like the dog chasing the squirrel anytime something else comes along that it distracts me. It's crazy, dude. When people who are unfunny to declare themselves as comedians make me question humanity, it really is a thing. It's like the female comedians who all they can do is get up on stage and try to say like the nastiest thing possible, and you're like, that doesn't make you funny. Like, come on.
Hey guys, I bought a game. Not going to play it as I've seen others play it online, and they formed my opinion on it for me. I've already experienced it.
Like I said, I could kind of relate. You notice I did not say, oh, he's 100% right about this. I totally agree with him. No, I get maybe like what he's getting at. For me personally, though, I did play KCD2, and I will come back to the game at some point to finish it because it is technically a very solid, really good game. But for me, it was all of, I mean, look, I bought the game planning to stream it. I was like, yeah, we'll play it. Hell, I'll stream it for the next 2 months till we're done with it, whatever. And it just, I don't know, man. Like my excitement, my hype, my enthusiasm for the game was utterly like just decimated by all, because I was also covering it in videos. I don't know why this dude here like personally feels like the discourse has made it impossible for him to play. It's like the Marathon guys. Look, if you love Marathon, go play Marathon. Great. Have fun with it, you know? No one's stopping you. Comedy is when the audience is uncomfortable and laughs away the awkwardness, basically, yeah. And thanks for the 5, Smeg. I appreciate you, dude. And I get what you're saying. I get it. It's a stupid thing to say. It's a stupid take to have. But people are entitled to their stupid opinions, and thus here we are. Let me see. Well, you guys can't forget Andy Cortez. You can't see it, I don't think. Oh no, it is. Yeah, right here in his username. Didn't pay for the blue check. I want. Here's the thing. He needs to take this out of his username because you do have to pay for the blue check mark. I'm pretty sure, unless he gets one because of his company affiliation. But somebody's paying for that blue check mark. Know more about Amy Schumer's vagina than my ex-wife's, and we have 2 sons together. Exactly. Hey, Truth. The they them shit is wild. Specifically, what are we talking about? We're talking about like the comedians. Crimson Desert's a moneymaker, but here's something really weird. So Cabrutus pointed out, he said, I wouldn't be surprised. It's not bad, but it's also not for everyone kind of game. then goes on to say Steam had 750,000 refund requests in the past 24 hours. People are theorizing it's because of Crimson Desert. Now, I didn't know that they could actually show you this. I didn't realize that Steam could show you, based on like their help requests and their backlog of like user requests and all this kind of stuff, that apparently there was a spike after the release of Crimson Desert for like 750,000 refund requests. So that is really interesting. So it's mid. We're talking about the game. I mean, it depends on who's playing it. I refuse to say Crimson Desert is mid and that Crimson Desert is the best game of all time, or that Crimson Desert is ass. It's a weird situation. It's an anomaly into itself. For me, like I said, it's like a 7.5 out of 10. There's enough great things about it that the things that it's lacking, I could certainly enjoy and play, and I'd have a good time. Problem is, I've got other games to play. That's the issue. That's a personal problem. Steam Spring Sale also, if you don't like, yeah. I forgot about the Spring Sale being running along the same time. So people probably checking out a bunch of games that they hadn't checked out otherwise. Above average, below top tier. I would never say Crimson Desert is going to be a 10 out of 10 game. Not for me. Certainly not for me. So absolutely it's not going to be like one of these games. Look, I would not put the 300 hours that I put into Valheim into Crimson Desert. I can straight up say that. But I could see putting 100 hours into Crimson Desert, because I easily put 100 hours into Tears of the Kingdom, easily put 130 into Breath of the Wild. So sure, absolutely, yeah. Most subjective game ever. Yeah. Dude, it really is. It's the stupidest. It sounds like a cop-out to say, but I truly believe that there are objectively good and objectively bad games. They do exist. I just think that in the case of Crimson Desert, it is such a subjective game. It's kind of like, okay, let's compare it to Marathon for a second. I know functionally and aesthetically, they're two completely like polar opposite genres, right? You put more hours into 1348 than you did with Crimson Desert. That's because I had to stream that game in order to make it worth it. I was not going to play that game by myself. And I had no intention of playing Ex Voto for 8.5 hours. My God, that was brutal. But comparing it to Marathon, you have two games completely opposite ends of the spectrum that appeal to different types of people. And yet within that, you have got hardcore people saying, oh, it's the greatest game of all time. I saw people today talking about Marathon saying it's a game of the year contender. And I'm like, guys, there's like 50,000 people on Steam concurrently playing that game, which is cool. That's good. That for any other game, that'd be a decent number. But this is a Bungie game, okay? You did Ex Voto to yourself. But DB, it was fun. I had fun doing it. It was painful. It was awful, but it was more fun than I've had in a long time. You have to give me that. It was a great time. Elden Ring's not perfect, has issues, but as a guy who plays it and loves it, it deserves more than a 10 out of 10. Crimson Desert looks like a perfectly made generic something. I would say, yeah, if Elden Ring is a 10 out of 10, then Crimson Desert's not. Obviously, people are going to have their own opinions about specific titles, right? But that being said, Elden Ring is not Crimson Desert in the fact that Crimson Desert is probably more open-ended and, you can do more of what you want. Elden Ring, it's splitting hairs. Splitting hairs at this point. Right, Cage? Exactly, but that's why we did it, man. I've always wanted to play a single-player MMO. Is that, guys, I don't know. I've never had that desire. That's weird. Like, I know if a lot of people are saying that. I've actually had a tweet that I pulled up. I don't think I have it on the tabs here that somebody said that. Let me see. No, I don't have the tweet brought up here, but there was another person saying, look, I love MMOs, but I don't want to have to play with other people, so I can do all the things I would normally do in an MMO and not have to play with other people. And it's like, not something that I've ever thought about. Like, I've never in my life been like, I loved Guild Wars, but I wish I could have played it by myself. Well, you could play it by yourself. You could load up on henchmen and heroes and never have to play with another person, I wouldn't say a 10 out of 10 chess game makes it the best game of all time. It's just a 10 out of 10 chess game. That's where, dude, it's so subjective, guys. That's what I'm saying. Crimson Desert's great if you're in it for the gameplay. Fair. Yeah. I want to experience the they, them, lesbo experience, questions abound. And it's crazy because I started off the stream being like, oh yeah, guys, I don't like lesbians. Oh my god. Only MMO I've really played is 76. It's weird without people. Well, are there anybody... is there people still playing 76, though? If people want to play a single-player MMO, just play a gacha game. No, I did not play Concord. Although Concord kind of, for me, would fall into the category of like a marathon-type game. Most people said Concord's gameplay was fine. I thought Marathon's gameplay was fine. I played, like 3 or 4 hours of the gameplay. The gameplay of Marathon was much better than Highguard because Highguard's had just had too much random shit thrown in it. Marathon was a serviceable, good shooter game. For me, I didn't want to look at it. The inventory screens were a mess. The menus were a mess. Like the total vibe and aesthetic of the game was an eyesore. So for me, I would never want to play Marathon. But functionally, as a game, I can understand why people enjoy the combat and the gameplay loop of it. Sure. But you could have put that into a different game with a better skin on it and had a much more enjoyable time, I can't think of anything I'd give 10 out of 10. Closest thing for me is the movie Super Troopers. I've never watched Super Troopers. That was a little before my time, and even though I grew up on a lot of old movies, that's not one that I ever watched. It's pretty stale at this point. Yeah. Yeah, Fallout 76 kind of made a little bit of a comeback. Just go back and milk lesbians. Oh my god, no. No. Dude, I saw Vera made another video about X-Voto today. I'm like, what? There's nothing to talk about. We got nothing left. That cow is dead. That cow is shriveled. Those lesbian udders are without as little milk as they've ever had at this point. Let it be dead. I will make a video now when the studio shuts down that made X-Voto. I think that's the only justifiable way I can ever make a video about X-Voto and Sedlio Studio ever again. That the studio will have to be shutting down. Or there will have to be some giant announcement from this. There's got to be something at this point, because otherwise that cow's teats are damn near ready to fall off. I actually didn't need to hear about it. Oh yeah, Equilibrium. It really, it's a, it comes and it goes. The algorithm giveth and the algorithm taketh away, and it is what it is. Yeah, exactly. Truth. It's already dead. It's what it is. It's a meme status now. You guys want a meme? Here's a great meme. Okay, in one of my videos, it wasn't my videos. It was my Steam review. My Steam review for X-Voto, I referenced the fact that the game made you play as Will from Stranger Things, right? So let me pull up. Hang on, let me find this real quick. It should be pretty easy to find. The only post from X-Voto's Twitter account that they've even interacted with in like the past week, because they basically have shut down their socials. They're not talking to anybody. Like there's just no, they're not retweeting anything. They're not posting anything. They're doing nothing. They had one reply to somebody. Let me see here. This goes all the way back to February 14th. I must have gone past it. Let me see here. It was just like a quick reply. God, Brave browser makes me refresh every time I go to replies. It's the stupidest thing. Here it is. Okay, this is great. This is fantastic. This person here had posted this and said, I played 1348 X-Voto 3 times now. If you want a real bump of the algo, just put two dudes touching their heads together in the thumbnail. I don't mean docking. Oh my god. Dude. No. And of course, this guy, Black, British, and queer, followed by Twitch. Gaming content creator, Twitch ambassador. I love this game so much. Beautifully written, voice acted, and its underlying themes with crying emojis. I would love to hire a theater and play this on a big screen. Amazing work for such a tiny team. And he, for some weird reason, chose this image to post on it. It's called an incel making intel content. Don't seeing gay people in my X-Voto video. They had zero arguments, anything I actually said. But Makini, most of the time people don't have an argument for what you say. They just want to, they want to fling mud, but they can't actually have an intelligent conversation. Of all the possible images you could use, you throw this one on there. It's like, oh my god, why? Like, we're already making jokes about freaking Aita looking like Will from this game. That tweet is so fake. He's probably in a different country. It's from it's from somebody that Twitch follows. It is a Twitch ambassador. This person is in the UK, I want to say. I'm terrified to go to their profile picture or their profile because God only knows what's going to pop up. Yeah, he's in the UK. Yeah, so that actually kind of makes sense, right? That makes sense at this point. We have intelligent conversations. I try, man. We try. That's not the voice actress. No. That's a gay black British dude from the UK. The voice actress is a woman who thinks she's non-binary or something. Playing the game 3 times, press F to doubt. Anyone call themselves queers to unintelligent realize they're insulting themselves. Yeah. I'd rather go and replay Star Wars Jedi right now than touch Ex Voto. So then, of course, guys, we've had the issue with Crimson Desert. Moving away from, like, the hours of time it takes for the game to get good. And that's a subjective thing. I hate, like, going off into the weeds in that situation. Crimson Desert players think they found AI slop art. Again, for me, if you didn't replace the art and it was a placeholder or you used AI art in your game, I don't care. But replace it, fix it, use better AI art. Make sure that the AI art turned out, properly the first time. What is get good? Get good is the bane of women and games journalists. Yeah, so we're not going to focus too much on the AI art part of it, Weatherman, because I don't care. I don't think most of us care if a game uses anything AI. My issue is just make it look good, Whole game bad because placeholder assets, exactly. Steam has rules where you have to put a disclaimer. That's 100% it. That's legitimate. If you use AI in your game and you're putting your game on Steam and the Steam's rules say you have to, put that in there in a disclosure, I think that the fair thing to do is to put it in a disclosure on Steam. Hey, Vernum. That's what Dan needs to do when he plays games. Yeah, fair enough. But it's also easier to get good when you're not streaming, man. I'm telling you. It's not like I'm God mode over here when it's like I turn off the streaming and I go in like total sweat mode drinking Mountain Dew and shit. But I have an easier time playing a game when I'm not streaming. Made a mistake, fell out of the abyss. Now all the NPCs in my area are firing muskets into the air. Yo, wise ass duck. You need to clip that and put it on Discord so we can watch it later. AI is evil. Shut the fuck up at this point. Every game is using AI to some degree. Dude, DB, that's exactly. So in that respect, the disclaimer thing is almost kind of stupid, and it's more like the whole virtue signaling thing than anything else. Because at some point, the AI tools that are used behind the scenes, even inadvertently, if you're not trying to use AI explicitly, it's like everything is going to use some variation of AI at some point. So it's a damn, it's a stupid argument, right? Don't take me seriously. Oh, but no, there's a certain level of understanding. Look, there are things where I need to get better at certain games, but I approach them more from a observatory standpoint than anything else when I'm playing on stream. It's more of like, we're all observing this thing together, and I'm just the one pushing the mouse and clicking the buttons. Crimson situation is almost similar to Dragon's Dogma 2 at release. Except, didn't Dragon's Dogma 2 get dogged on, no pun intended, for other reasons? Like, I loved Dragon's Dogma. I picked up the first Dragon's Dogma. I can't even remember what system I played it on. I got it at Game Crazy, pretty much, I think it was a used disc I picked up. I knew nothing about the game other than fantasy medieval, looks cool, and realized this is the weirdest and coolest game I've ever played, right? Dragon's Dogma was a trip and a half, man. That was crazy. Weird-ass game, strange story, really fun. Fun, combat and lots of stuff you can do in the game. The buddies you can make, the NPCs that you can customize and ship off to other people to use and stuff, and they send them back with gifts and all that. It was the coolest system, right? But I didn't have any interest in playing Dragon's Dogma 2, so I was like, I just don't know, man. Playing CD right now, let me say this, people like DSP ruin games. Good thing I beat him before the nerf. Yeah, Sam Fisher, that's the thing. It's like, honestly, it does kind of suck for a lot of people who don't suck at games when people complain and they start nerfing things. It feels missing of sorts. Dragon's Dogma 2 does. Let me see. I think it's important to warn people of AI because it could get like YouTube spammed by AI slop, and the Steam platform is worthless. I mean, I guess I could see that, but at some point, everything's going to be using some variation of AI. So what? How do you warn people? You know, mofo. I know what mofo is. Mofo. Nothing like beating a game pre-DSP. Oh my god. Also, pure fist build is fun as hell, but high risk. I do like in Crimson Desert that the fisting in Crimson Desert, you still do as much damage as the spearing, you know? So PC Gamer, of course, puts out this little passive-aggressive post here. Crimson Desert says, oops, sorry about the AI art. And then some twat waffle with his British accent speaking, so we're not going to play that. Crimson Desert said we'd like to address questions regarding the use of AI in Crimson Desert. During development, 2D visual props. I mean, you guys, this is the same thing you would expect. We didn't plan on leaving these in the games. We made a mistake. Whatever. I personally don't think they should have apologized. I think it would have been smarter for them to not address this at all. Expert in getting fisty. Oh my god. Combat style is a combo of dual wield with unarmed kicks and grapples. Hella fun. Fists make you the man, don't quote me. So, I shared this on Discord earlier. Retards like this. This is one of these weird, strange, cosplaying women. Has a massive audience on Twitter. She's this big butch broad. One of these muscle mommies that here, all of her replies are full of these like pathetic soy-looking dudes and simps. She put this out there and said, confirmed generative AI use that was undisclosed to Steam, and now they're apologizing, claiming it's a simple oversight that somehow sat in their game for years and made it into a huge launch. Then somehow overlooked it when putting it on Steam, where they would have been asked about AI use. Pluribus lied to platforms to get on the market. Crimson Desert is riddled with Gen AI assets that stole from real artists. Okay. The stolen from real artists thing is really funny because everything is taken from something else. At this point, all artists are trained off of artists that have already come before them. Like to say that assets are stolen from real artists because machine learning learns based on what's already come before it, artists do the same shit. Like, stop with this. Supporting this kind of behavior from a company will destroy gaming, leaving us with a mediocre hellscape of boring, uninteresting trash like every AI video out there. Everything will become shit mobile ads. Say no to this trash, get refunds, and spend that money on indies who are actually doing things right. Then she went on to say, why is it like this, fam? I just want to play good games that aren't destroying livelihoods and the environments. Most of the engagement is probably Pakistani bots, probably. So the funniest thing about this, it's not a dude. It's a butch woman. She's one of these women that wants to be a man or just works out so much and probably eats about like 4,000 calories a day and takes way too much protein. Doesn't have any kids. She'll probably never have kids, which thank God. I think they think every employee at a developing studio knows every asset by heart. Yeah. So the craziest thing about this is this part where she says, I want to play good games that aren't destroying livelihoods and the environment. You do realize that this tweet that she put out, this thread that she put out, probably used more electricity, caused more irreparable damage to the environment than whatever AI placeholders were in that game, right? The face is masculine. Yeah, it's terrible, dude. Starting to believe in dead internet theory lately. Yeah.
This is why I
She could have hit some roids, probably.
It gives morons a voice.
Smeg, it does give morons a voice. And it's crazy because a lot of times I feel like anybody who pays for Twitter, anybody who pays for X, you actually get your posts seen far less often than the random dude in Bangladesh who has 7 followers and hasn't posted a single original thing ever, but he quote tweets something that's trending and gets 40 million impressions on it. It's the craziest thing. Twitter is a platform that I use as a tool and for fun and for shit posting and keeping track of what's going on in the world. But it is a absolute shit show behind the scenes. And I am not an Elon Musk fan. I don't hate the guy. I think he's done some cool things. Whatever. Twitter's it's a god awful shit show. It just is what it is, man. Shout out Bangladesh, yeah. Another one, riddled with AI. She doesn't know a lot of the assets are mostly likely reused from Black Desert. Probably. But she probably claimed that Black Desert also reused assets to, or AI assets or whatever. Somebody pointed out, let me see. Somebody down in the replies asked about, oh my God. Did you cry like this when Expedition 33 did and said something? I'm sure she did. She probably did. Somebody asked Grok what used more water, AI or like a Whopper at Burger King or whatever. What caused more like, environmental harm? And by like exponential amounts, it was like one cheeseburger being made or some shit like that. I can't even find it. X now mess, way too many bots, 9% of accounts are from Pakistan. Hey, Geek, I am implementing a strict kill on sight policy, and I don't mean kill in the literal sense. I'm talking like when I see an account that is posting AI slop videos, like the actual shitty fake videos that they try to convince you are real. When there are people that are posting the same clickbait crap that I've seen a million times, I go to their profile, and if they're from Nigeria, South Asia, Malaysia, Africa, India, Bangladesh, Singapore, any of these places, I ban, block on sight. I don't care if they've got 350,000 followers and 10 people I follow them. I block them immediately. I am now that person who, I randomly come across people who have me blocked who I've never interacted with. I'm like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. I am that person now who's blocking every account I find. If they come across my timeline and they're from one of those countries posting the same shit, but they're too many, I get it. I understand there's a lot. Dare I say based? You can say based about that. I block immediately, dude. Oh, wind power is a scam, dude. Wind power is an absolute scam. And it sucks because there's probably cool people in those areas that aren't like that, but been tempted to start running a blockchain app to block any of those .head accounts. So I mean, Nure, one of these rage baiters, she's fun sometimes though, says, I have a feeling that all the Spanish translations for the game were done with AI translations. What baffles me is what AI are they even using in this day and age that does such a terrible job? Dude, the thing about AI is it's pretty retarded. Like, let's be honest. AI is pretty retarded when it comes to a lot of this stuff. I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know what desafios means. I assume challenges. Equilibrio con el viento, recorreten con la flecha. I don't know if it's a flecha sound. Con gancho. Flecha con, I don't know what flecha con gancho means. I don't know if that means walk 10 meters on a rope or not. So, mogging? Oh, no, let's not talk about mogging. Please, let's not talk about mogging. Oh, flecha would be arrow. Oh, fletching on the arrow. Okay, like the feathers. That makes sense. Got it. Some people said the same for German, apparently. Yeah, that's apparently, and I saw that post a couple days ago. Yeah. But yeah, so, I mean, obviously, look, I've seen this from Korean developers too. There was a game that I played on my old Xbox, my original Xbox, where the Korean to English translation was all fucked up, Damn it, Baxter, don't speak Spanish. I can kind of muddle my way through Spanish, but I took German. So for me, it's not great. Equilibrium is left to me to explain the mogging. Oh my god. Mogging is like saying you owned somebody. But it's nowadays they have it kind of goes in the same circle as that retard live streamer Clavicular, that male-to-male transsexual guy who's like 19 and is probably going to die of drug overdose or AIDS or some STD he picks up from some hooker he met on a live stream. And he does this thing called looks maxing, where he looks like a pretty boy, borderline homosexual. And the dude is like, he can't lift like 120 pounds on a bench, but he looks pretty. And so he goes around doing the IRL streams and he does what he calls looks maxing. And so he mogs people. They do like the whole cortisol spiking is a thing apparently. And it's just, it's so bad, man. It's terrible. Oh my God. It's a word for retarded people. Yeah. when you're trying to translate to a language you have zero familiarity with and can't verify what it gave you, well, then you should hire somebody, you know? Just put everything into sí, señor. El hombre con las manos de piedra. I don't hear anyone complain about bad translations. Many of us grew up with English at the end of Ghost and Goblins. Why the word Mog? I don't know. I don't know where the origin of mogging came from. So, dare I say a based take from this guy here. Is this Mike Ibarra, I think it is? Old Blizzard president? Yeah, Mike Ibarra. Says, gamers need to man up over AI usage in games after the Crimson Desert dev issues an apology. Okay. So it says here, I'm just going to skip ahead in the article. All right. So it has the Crimson Desert apology. And then Mike Ibarra said, Pearl Best is our... no, here we go. He said, why apologize? AI in one form or another will be in every single video game. I don't get why devs feel the need to bend over for the few folks who can't accept the reality that AI will be in every single thing from video games to your fridge. It already is. Closes this by saying that gamers need to man up. You can bet this pissed off a lot of people. This probably, like all the people we were talking about, it probably pissed off a lot of people. 90% of people in the creative industry is a retarded libtard, and the ones who aren't, they're pretending to be a retarded libtard to get jobs. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I've seen Mike Ibarra have some bad takes. A lot of these ex-presidents, ex-CEOs, while they might be 50-50 on the fence with like a lot of people on our side of like looking the way we look at things, I've seen Mike Ibarra have some shitty takes in the past. Legendary Drops quote tweeted his original tweet and says, not gonna lie, the marketing of AI has to be studied. It will replace you. It's inevitable. You'll rent compute from us. You'll own nothing and be happy. Why is everyone so mad? Like, I don't even hate AI, but it's fascinating to see CEOs punch themselves in the dick for sport. And I think that that's fair. We've all seen kind of the whole you will own nothing and be happy argument or that kind of verbiage from mega corporations and globalists and all this shit. Own nothing, be happy, trust the AI, plug your brain into this, let it learn from you and take your job and basically live your life for you. And you're just going to be a blob living in a wheelchair that hovers around and will feed you through a straw, right? So then it's like those same people who admit to being evil are telling you, get used to it. I'm okay with AI. But yeah, eat the bugs, live in the pod, exactly. Ex-president, ex-CEO, ex-photo. Oh my god. I don't mind AI usage in games. I just hope it doesn't make devs lazy. Dude, Korean Cowboy, my number one issue is if I can tell it's AI, that's my problem with it. That's it. That's all I care about. Make the product good. Make it to where I can't distinguish between what's AI and what's not. And I'll be fine with it. I'll be happy with it. But it needs to be something where I can't tell. This guy here, X1 the Gamer, says, caring about AI being used to create assets in Crimson Desert is like refusing to eat at a restaurant because you found out they use a food processor instead of hand chopping the onions. Only the anti-AI social media bros care. Nobody else does. It's a great game. AI is a tool. Every studio will use it, and they should. I think that's a fairly apt comparison. Obviously, you could split some hairs over that and say, well, it's more like the ingredients being used rather than how the ingredients are prepared. And it's like, okay, so one's locally grown organically and one's, got pesticides on it. I don't know. Agreed about that. They should just make it less obvious. Well, and making it less obvious is them understanding how to make the AI tools work properly and work for them, and making sure to not be lazy and double checking that the AI did its job properly. That's really what it comes down to. I've been told people using AI have no vision. You've likely seen my it's side scroller animations. I attempt to tell a little story in 6 seconds. How is that not having a vision? No, I think that people who say that there's no vision, that's retarded. Now, you could argue that if you are an AI artist to where all you're putting is prompts that you're not creating art or that you're not an artist, I can understand that argument. But when it comes to like, look, AI still requires a certain level of understanding of how the system works, creativity for what you want to create. And sure, if I was an artist and I could actually draw for myself or use digital, mediums, then I would just make the art myself. I'm not an artist. So for people like me, clearly AI is easier than paying somebody $10 for a thumbnail that isn't going to make me $10 in ad revenue. you know? All Davos this year was about was not AI revolution and how it will make everything better. It was all focused on how to make money, very different from last year. I heard something about that, Tekla. I actually saw something about that. I haven't been plugged into all the news stuff as much lately. I want to get back into paying attention to what's going on in the world, but right now, guys, like I told you guys at the beginning of the stream, I am so tired. I actually was making hoodies for my kids' baseball and softball teams up until like an hour before the stream. My computer wasn't even turned on. I'd been home for all of an hour. My computer was still sitting here idle. And this is the time of year where things get really tough. Streams and videos are going to be really hard to produce, but I should still have some flexibility. It's just that at the same time that we get busy with baseball and softball, work kind of kicks up too. And so I'll be busy for like the entire summer. So that just puts a extra kink in the wrench, you know? Even as an artist, I'm not an animator, but I can use the AI to animate. Yeah, exactly. For real. There you go. 90% of art is mastering the tools and the ability to rotate the apple. I knew how to use the AI. The pics I made of Dan would get me banned from this channel. Oh my god, dude. You have no vision, but photography using a tool to take a picture that's art and takes vision. Isn't that funny, Smeg? You take a picture of something that you didn't create, and suddenly that's an artist. But if you actually make an AI image from scratch, it's crazy, dude. It's nuts.
My 1348 got comments on the thumbnail and I explained that it's AI generated, but it's a workflow I started using. I do a clean sketch first, then add flats digitally, then AI prompt and edit the final.
Oh, thanks for the 10, McKinney. And dude, honestly, man, kudos to you for that. But personally, if somebody asked me like, why are you using AI for your thumbnails? I would just be like, because it's more interesting than using a stock photo. Like, I don't give two shits. Hey, QC jerks. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I, for the longest time, was like, I'm not going to make AI thumbnails. Not because I was like, ethically opposed to using AI. Everybody, at some point last year, I think it was last year, I saw Clownfish TV was doing it, a lot of other channels were doing it, where they started to replace the standard, take an image, remove the background, put it on top of another thing, add this, put a text box here. People just started adding or doing like, AI prompts for their thumbnails. And I was like, I don't really want to jump on that bandwagon and do that. It got to the point where it's like, well, look, here's the thing. I want the image to look a certain way. I'm not going to be able to afford paying somebody else to make that image. The only sensible thing to do is to make the AI image and then tweak what I need to within the thumbnail itself. I'm doing it myself. I'm not paying somebody. I'm not an artist. It is what it is. I don't think anybody ever needs to apologize for that. Like, for real. It's just not something that anybody needs to feel sorry for,
And say, hey man, I love you. This.
Yo, McKinney with the 5. Dude, appreciate you,
It's a quick
man.
and more creative way for me to get thumbnails.
Yeah, and honestly, like I said, thanks again for the 5, McKinney. It's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't matter to me how people do it. For me, it wasn't like an ethical situation where it's like, oh, I don't want to do AI thumbnails. Somebody will get mad at me. It was simply, I just don't feel like jumping on the bandwagon. And it got to the point where it was no longer the bandwagon, it became the norm. If that makes sense. It's like, it was the easiest way to do. I'm an artist. Most of my art's bad, but I slowly improve. Sometimes I do use AI as an idea, then draw the rest myself. Yeah, so like when I had the gal do guys, I'm so fried. My logo, holy shit. I threw some AI shit into a blender and saw what came out, and it came out, and then I had her draw it. It was that simple. Yeah, I could have just gone with the AI image it came up with, but what she drew was a lot better. Fuck what others think, fuck them in there. Yeah. I get what you're saying, Smeg. I got you, dude. As an artist, it's a tool. I use it for work. It gets tedious. Tasks get done quicker. Right. 100%, man. Like I said, I see no ethical issue with it whatsoever. It's whatever. Niall Sankey, quote tweeting Grum's talking about the apology. And he said this is actually a completely reasonable use of AI. The devs should apologize for apologizing. And that's the thing. They really should. I don't think any devs need to come out and apologize for using AI. It's one thing if they could come out in this apology. They could have come out and said, where's that at? In here, they could have just said, yeah, some of the paintings, we didn't double check to make sure that they looked good. It's not up to the quality of what we wanted in our game. So we're going to replace those with better looking pieces of art. Apologizing for using the AI in the first place is the part that pisses me off. You don't need to say you're sorry. at some point, this is no longer going to be an issue where people care. Like, it's going to become AI thumbnails do help and bring in viewers. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, my best videos for viewership weren't AI. Sometimes it's just you get lucky with the algorithm. Sometimes it's a subject. Sometimes you're actually on fire, which doesn't happen for me very often. But for me, why would I not use AI if it makes a better thumbnail? If the thumbnail actually looks better, you know? You got the Mike Ibarra tweet? Yeah, I've got it right here, actually. It's in the one that Legendary Drops quote tweeted. Somebody said, I'm so glad you're not ruining Blizzard anymore. Hope you enjoy Copilot in World of Warcraft. Oh my god, that's savage. Wow. That's crazy. Breaking: CEO doesn't understand why exploitation is bad. Some of us have standards. We don't like AI slop. Guy peddling hyper gambling tells consumers to man up on issues of ethics and integrity. There's still time to delete this. Holy shit, man. That's crazy. Let me see if there's other replies. I'm just gonna go to his replies here. See, it does this thing where if I hit replies on Brave browser, it just says can't load. They already have Copilot and WoW. That's insane. I've been on fire a couple times. Bad it wasn't on film. Let me see if this one works. Oh, my soundboard's not working tonight. Oh my god. Bro getting felted. Mike's right, no matter if you love him or hate him. Yeah, like I said, I've seen some terrible takes from him, but on this one, I think this is pretty funny. Let me see here. Oh, Big Cat wants in. Hang on. None of the cats have been trying to come in. Even the dog hasn't been trying to come in on stream recently. Come here, big boy. Come here. Hi. Hi, big kitty. Oh. God. Look at the size of this belly. Oh. Hi, big kitty. 13 pounds of cat. Let me see. So yeah, somebody else said the Steam should remove any rules requiring any AI disclosure in games. There's no reason to disclose other than giving anti-AI zealots fuel for their hopeless crusade to keep technology from evolving. They're conservative extremists. And then Mike says Valve should publicly disclose how much profit they take from developers for every game they sell on Steam. I don't know if that's a fair comparison. So I guess he didn't reply too much to all these. Oh, here you go. Someone says, all I see you doing is praising AI and right-wing ideologues. Mike Ibarra says, definitely hate me for any views I have that do not align with your own. That's where we are as a society, and you're contributing exactly how they want you to be. For the record, I'm about as in the middle as anyone can be. I hate far left and far right BS. Huh. Go figure, an ex-CEO is a centrist. So H. Brown, what he meant with the conservative, because I looked at the latter part of his post. The conservative extremist thing is he's saying that the left is acting like puritanical conservatives, is what he's saying. It wasn't that he thought it was actually conservatives doing it. So he says it down here in a reply here. Someone says they're not conservative at all. They're almost all leftists. And he says, I'm aware, but it's the thing they hate being called the most. And that's exactly what they're acting like. So that's why he called them conservative. He meant the woke right. Yeah, but I hate the woke right term, dude. I really do. I despise that term. Yeah, it makes a certain amount of sense. It's a weird roundabout way of doing it, but X Copilot is filled with ads, and the showcase they used for their Copilot was painful. Dude, I hate. Here's the thing. You know, I'm totally fine with AI existing as a tool, as a thing. Like when I'm typing on Gmail and it wants to finish a sentence for me, and I look at it and go, that's probably how I'd finish it. I'm cool with that. But I despise anything that has like a Copilot thing running while I'm trying to use something on my computer. Like, please don't do that. You're gonna get out? Yes or no? What are we doing? Are we out? All right. He's probably just looking for his sister. He's probably ready to play. What's woke right? Woke right would be if you are perpetually talking about Israel and everything is the Jews and you're, I don't know, dude. People make it their own thing. Look, I've been called anti-Semitic and I've been called Islamophobic, okay? I'm over here on team my side. So I've had people call me woke right and I've had people call me like a leftist. I don't know, man. I sometimes these terms don't mean anything. Sometimes it just is just words people throw around, you know? That cat better not try to come back in. Anyways, I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys, because we got through all that, and that actually took longer than I expected. I thought we would have been done by like 11. I didn't have that much brought up to talk about. Just check all the boxes so they can't say shit. Woke right is everyone who's critical of Israel and isn't a leftist. That's what happens. That's what they're called. But the thing is, like, for example, people like James Lindsay, who's a fucking retard. No offense, guys, if you like James Lindsay, but that man is terrible. He would call somebody who's like, let's say Nick Fuentes, far right, or not far right, woke right. Look, I don't like Nick Fuentes. I think I've got lots of words for Nick Fuentes, but I might agree with one or two things he says here or there. You could also agree with like the worst person on the planet on certain things and still not like them as a person. That's fine, whatever. But, you know, if you agree with somebody, then you're also like woke. I don't know, guys. It's the stupidest. It's this verbal vomit that we have these days, man. I'm anti-systemic. I have to admit that. What? Anti-systemic. What does that mean? I like Nick now that he's trashing Sneeko. Dude, that's the whole let the retards fight thing. I don't care. JDA's woke, right? No, he's not even though. See, okay. JDA is the example of like somebody who would be like, he'll be edgy about stuff like, you know, the Jewish stuff, right? But then he'll also, I don't know. For me with JDA, it wasn't the fact that like, for me, it always felt like grift, right? It always felt like it was just an act. Trying to act like the victim, trying to act edgy, when the man was a complete narcissist, dude. Like, Patriot, I know. Still, I hate the whole woke right terminology. You know? Hassan would have had people agree with him if he didn't shock the dog. I don't know about that. Hassan is so far gone at this point. It's like, guys, I don't even know about that, dude. Yeah, that's Smeg. That's a much bigger part of it for me. Like, okay, for example, when JDA attacked Master of the TDS for being Jewish, right? No, not even attacked. He did that subtle, well, but you should be on my side because the Jews in the Holocaust. And it's like, dude, you're a fucking retard, whatever. That was one of those moments where JDA kind of showed his true colors. And it's like people attacked him for being anti-Semitic. I'm like, I don't even care about that. I care about the fact that he's a piece of shit. You know, that was it for me. It was just the reality that he is just going to act holier than thou art, but then he'll be down there in the mud with anybody, throwing as much as he possibly can. Like, it's the two-faced crap I can't stand, you know? Don't even know what's going on with Jeremy Piker. Dude, the only times I see Hassan Piker is when him and Asmongold are feuding, and it's just like they're just clipping each other and shitting on each other, you know? My perfect world government would be mostly hands-off. We'd be much more Wild Western. Dude, but it wouldn't be the Wild West because the Wild West wasn't wild. Like, I had a history professor back when I was a teenager, early, I guess late teens, early 20s, that was saying, is like, you know, the thing about the Wild West is it was all movies. Like, the Wild West wasn't that wild. People pretty much dealt with shit. If you had one guy in town that was causing problems, he didn't live very long, you know? Yeah, the Gunsmoke stuff, it wasn't so much a thing. You might have one or two bad dudes. Oh, the Wild West wasn't wild. That's my point. Exactly. So, woke right was just coined by James Lindsay to insert dissident. Yeah, fair enough. I think that was kind of the roundabout way of putting it, you know? It's romanticized. Isn't that crazy that you say romanticized when the reality is it makes it look more brutal than it really was? Oh man. Well, geek. I'll have to say alleged, but yes, alleged with the domestic stuff. I mean, this is the craziest thing, guys. Is it normal for everybody to have like criminal history in their background? Because I don't. I do a background check every single year for softball and baseball. I've done multiple background checks for CPL. I've done a background check every time I purchased a gun. I have probably done 20 background checks in the past, well, based with guns, sports, and everything else. Probably 20 background checks, 2 detailed background checks in the past 10 years, right? Never had a single problem with any of them. No domestic, nothing. Is it more of a common thing for like YouTubers or people who are online personalities to get into domestic situations with their spouse or girlfriend? Because I know a few YouTubers out there that have allegations against them. One of them has me blocked on Twitter. I never even interacted with the guy. Bigger YouTube channel than I have. And he's got domestic charges against him in the past. Oh yeah, Cage, I'm getting out of here in a minute too, dude. Because they're narcissistic nuts. I guess that's it. He being Marshall Dillon. No. Oh, yeah. In Gunsmoke, people, individuals deal with their problems, and if someone's causing excessive trouble that people can't deal with it, he steps in. Right. Certain singing YouTuber? No. No, it's that Kyle, whatever the hell his name is. I know a lot of people find him funny. But, like, it's the weirdest thing, man. Like, he's got... people have shared his mugshot and shit. I'm like, does everybody have domestic abuse allegations? It's nuts. Oh, that's who you meant? Oh, okay. I didn't know that he sings. I don't watch him. I don't know. JDA's, yeah. It's funny. That name doesn't come up very often anymore. Once in a while, I'll see somebody share Fandom Pulse or JDA or something. It'll pop up. And I'll be like, I forgot they exist. Like, I'll truly have forgotten that they've existed because I've just blocked. I blocked all of them after the initial kerfuffle with him and Melanie Mac denouncing him and everyone else kind of banning him or blocking him and him freaking out on people and trying to make up because he's like, oh, my book career, my YouTube career is suffering and this is my income. It's like, after all of that, I just like, I don't even think about it anymore. Bedtime would have been like half an hour ago if I was actually on time. People who can't control themselves are the ones trying to tell me how I should live my life to be a true Christian. Yeah, Vernon, that's kind of the hypocrisy a lot of people fall into. You know, that's the hard part. We all have that. I've got family members that are overly religious, but they're just complete train wrecks. And meanwhile, you know, the people that might be the most worldly or bad examples of like religiosity when it comes to like, you know, going to church and doing all that kind of stuff. I've known some like genuinely just good people who just treat people decently, you know? You said he was crashing after he crashed out playing Marvel Rivals. I'm a night owl. I would be a night owl if I didn't have to work in the morning, if I didn't have to deal with like the kids and everything else. I lucked out because Tuesdays right now, we don't have any baseball or softball stuff, so I can actually get a video made tomorrow night if there's something I want to cover. But beyond that, it's like, I'm kind of running up dry here. Dude, I got to where it's like, today, I was like, all right, I know I want to talk about Crimson Desert tonight. I had nothing else to talk about. The news is kind of in a weird place this week. And my level of creativity is shot, you know? The career of making knockoff Warhammer 40k Romance Symposium as... Yeah. At least you know what J stands for. Oh my god. I mean, no, QC for real. I would. It's not the having to get up in the morning to go to work that makes me not a night owl. It's the fact that it's like I know at some point my wife cannot fall asleep and stay asleep if I don't go to bed. She'll wake up at some point if I don't come to sleep. So. Just an old man voice and tell your wife you got lost on your way to bed. Well, dude, I told you guys when I got on here, she was telling me how I had this distinguished older gentleman look with this cardigan zip-up hoodie thing I've got going on, so. Oh, dude, the Iran stuff, I haven't even been paying attention to, man. Watched a few of his live streams because his vids were good, then I lost interest because I saw how he really is. Smeg, I only ever caught him a couple times. Like there was one time when he was streaming with Smash JT that I saw him, and he's just, I mean, Kyle just seems like kind of an ass. Check some new. Dude, I was thinking if we streamed on Wednesday or Friday, I would just play a game, guys. Like I was thinking just keep it super chill. So, hey Empress, good morning. I am going to sleep. I know you got here right as I'm like, I'm done. I'm pulling the plug on this thing. But yeah, no, I need to do that, guys. Maybe we'll make Wednesday or Friday just like a chill game stream. I have kids coming over for a sleepover on Saturday, I think. Yeah, the 28th. Okay, so that night I won't be doing it. I'm not doing anything this weekend. So no streams at all past Friday night, guys, for sure. You just woke up? Well, I'm supposed to be asleep already. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all for hanging. Even though tonight was kind of a shit show, kind of a cluster of mishmash, brain cells not firing properly, neurons not firing, brain cells not responding. I know, Empress. I will try to sleep fluffy. I usually sleep with a cat either at my feet or next to me and the dog at some point behind my legs. So I've been sleeping in shorts at night instead of my regular pajama pants because the animals cook me alive when I sleep. It's like 40 degrees outside, but like when I'm laying in bed, they're just cooking me alive. So it's miserable. It's absolutely awful. Xbox partner preview on Thursday. Interesting. I might check that out. All right, guys. Have a good night. Appreciate y'all for hanging. I will catch you guys in a few days. Take it easy. Oh, aren't they all a shit show? You know it, Smeg. You 1000% know it, dude. All right. Get some sleep, guys. Be safe. I'll catch you later.